unmute stuff and say hello to chat. Hi, it's Fail Portrayal. It's the gang, the crew.
It's a full gang tonight.
Yes, some sort of tribe, one might say, if you were playing some sort of tribal.
An
amalgamation. Not an abomination yet, because I'm not showing...
Tribal.
Yes, my favorite deck. Well, you know, we are talking about Hecahands later. I'll get all my jokes in now. But first...
I first won't get to be there.
Sadly, but we will, because we are beginning with the ban list, because, hey, guys, there's a ban list. There's a ban list for the TCG.
Yup.
It's showing on screen right now. This goes into effect,
I'd say overall,
Feb
a positive one.
Yes, no. I think there are some thoughts, some theory crafting that perhaps some cards that everybody hates their guts are not dead enough. And also, generally, I can speak from experience because one of the Master Duel events was the Synchro Fusion Festival Plus, but they let you play one Yummy Snatchy so you could play Yummy. Spoilers for the ban list in the limited section. One Yummy Snatchy. Very bad. Very vulnerable to your opponent fucking with you. By the way, did you know that fucking Draco Tail has multiple traps that just let you banish a random monster from your opponent's graveyard?
Isn't it cool?
Yeah, it's great. It's great how they want you to play Draco Tail.
I had a very funny interaction with that, because there's a new D&D card that lets you summon everything you banish in a turn.
Well, yes, DDD, you know, you're operating in the nth dimension. But you can see right here, right at the top, chat, right away framed, we now have 4 barrier statues in hell.
Good.
The only ones
Honestly,
that are not is the
haven't...
Fairy and the Fiend, so I can only imagine that it is a limited amount of time before we just decide Cyberdark Impact was a mistake.
I think, okay, so the barrier statues are not a bad idea in theory, but unfortunately, because of... No, listen to my... Because, like, if they played as written, they would be fine, but the problem is, because of Yu-Gi-Oh's esoteric rulings and how they interact with stuff, I just hate them all in principle. It's similar to, like, Gozen Match and...
Yes, Dallas, except that, well, the barrier statues, you can do Future Sight if you're, like, seizing into something, but it's not like a Gozen or a Teekboo. Neither player can special summon monsters except X element. That's only ever a stun trick. That's bad. That's dumb. It's been dumb the whole time. Why we punish if you play multiple attributes, huh? Because presumably you're playing them in a deck where you don't care. And even if you're playing it in a deck where you do care, then you're deliberately stalling for time, and we should kill you. The time rules will eat you.
It's
time rules are
like I feel like as we've gone on with my Yu-Gi-Oh revival, I've gotten more firm on the idea that I understand the theory crafting behind floodgates. I hate them. They're stupid. Every single stun card should be removed. Every stun player should lose their drawing hand so they may never draw a Yu-Gi-Oh card again. We need real control decks. Real interactive control decks. They exist. I've played them. They're fun.
We need to put stun players in we need to put stun players in the actual card of Demise Guillotine.
But people keep jamming stun into control decks, and it sucks. Look at him. Yeah. Look at Pachycephalo on this list. He's in hell. He deserves it. He deserves it being in hell. Actually, I'm scrolling down a little. You can't see him in the chat. I'll also grab the link and post it.
I think it comes from a game mentality where, and we have this conversation like every few months.
True.
It's a perfect game mentality of, like, the concept of floodgates is like being restrictions. I don't think are bad. It's more how it's how they interact with the overall game state, especially in a game like Yu-Gi-Oh, where the gameplay is so fast-paced. We cannot just set up an entire like unbreakable god board, and then go, oh, also I'm putting a floodgate on the board. So your opponent just looks at you and goes, well, I can't I can't answer anything to what's going on.
The main thing is that I think many floodgates are arguably too one-sidable, in that they don't cost the person who activates them anything, so that you can, as we said, just do your whole ass combo and then also throw up a couple floodgates, and it sucks. It sucks in a similar way that, like, you can do your whole ass combo, and some decks can produce extra resources to also, like, throw, like, generic Omnis, which is why several of them are banned in the TCG. Like, the fact that you could do your whole ass combo and then make, like, a 2 or 3 mat Appaloosa did suck. That was bad. That was not great. Because it makes going second harder. And that's, like I said, I understand philosophically what Dallas and other people are getting at. But you know what? If you're going first, you don't need any fucking help. That's the state of the game right now. If you are going first, you do not require help. You do not require good going first cards. That's the entire game right now. Like, we would need a big shift in game design for that to be more appropriate.
Yeah, it's really just like the principle of what the cards do is not a 100% bad. It's a game design, game speed, like, because I mean like it's just like it's all comes down to speed when you think about it. It's like all these floodgates printed in Circa Cyber Impact and early DM. Yeah, they were annoying, but most cards, like the worst that was happening was your opponent was putting down at worst like a 2K asshole you can't get over. So you just go, all right, well I guess I put my 1800 beater, and I take 200. I'm like, ah, damn. I hope you don't tribute summon anything. But now a skill drain goes, oh, I can't do any combo. I'm just gonna die next turn, huh?
Guess I die.
Yeah.
And that's always, I feel like that's the worst part of the Yu-Gi-Oh experience, is that some elements of card design and some players take that as the intended role, is like, oh, I don't actually have a way to win the game. I just need to make you go, guess I'll die, and quit. And I'm just like, well, it's no fun for the other guy.
Like, okay. I will admit to being not great about this in Magic. My go-to strategy for playing Standard is win game 1 and no other game finishes. But
I mean, if it works, it works. There is always that. But I don't know a lot about, like, you know, Magic sideboarding and match structure, like what your time rules are like, you know. Like, technically, in Yu-Gi-Oh's current run, that would not be ideal because everybody suffers a double game loss when you run out of time.
Here's what time rules are. Draws are okay. So when the time is up, you get 5 turns, and if no one wins, the game ends in a draw.
I'm not too slow the game down because we've literally talked about one banned card, but it makes me curious how, like, tournament regs are, because in Yu-Gi-Oh, we do have draws, but they're not encouraged because they don't resolve the Swiss round. So, like, I don't know, is this because of, like, the cash funding from Daddy Hasbro or something, that the tournament's just like, yeah, we'll add extra rounds because you've got a draw?
Well, no. At the end of the tournament, usually, if it's not a single elimination tournament, which I don't know how many Pro Tours generally are. Granted, I have not played a Pro Tour in a while, so I don't... This is mostly... I'm based on, like, in-shop tournament and things structured. You get prizing based on how well you did, and draws are calculated into that. A draw is better than a loss and worse than a win.
That's fair, I guess, but, like, that is, I think, the thing is that in Yu-Gi-Oh, Day 2 always ends with a best of 1, like single elim, not best of 1, but like single elim bracket going to, you know, top 32, top 8, etc. So, like, you can calculate the draws, I guess, on that end, you know, pre that, but then it's like, well, what do you do in the next one when draws don't count? Like, prizing is more about how far you make it than your overall score, so it's a different thing in philosophy. I did scroll on a little to find our next cards. Malice Q Whitebinder, dead.
Yeah.
Just sent straight to from 3 to zip. I feel really bad for Malice. Like, genuinely, I don't... I mean, some of you may have heard the fraud alert jokes. Malice is the like single most banned deck that's never won a YCS. Like they've.
I thought that was that Emancipator.
Could be. I mean, right now they've recovered, but like Malice has like a lot of hits and had a lot of hits a while, but has never taken home a top. Like in a tournament season, they've been to like 30-something YCSs and never taken a full victory. So like, I feel bad for Malice as a deck. I've played it. I built it in MD. It's just a really weird case of interaction where just the kind of like supplementary game design around Malice makes it a deck where if your opponent knows what they're doing, there's just so much dark cybers bullshit that they can really clean your clock and you can't do anything about it because, you're going to eat like all the monsters are like 5k and you're going to eat like, 2 or 3 non-targeting banishes or whatever per turn on top of, other cybers bullshit. But also, like, again, Malice Pure isn't that good if your opponent knows what they're doing, because I've talked about this a lot. Malice has a fundamental problem where they have exactly 4 names, and every single effect that matters is hard once per turn. So actually, like, interweaving your combos when you only draw Malice names is hard. And obviously you go, oh, well, you substitute another engine. And it's like, yes, you do substitute in another generic engine, but I've also played hands where I didn't draw any of those cards, and I just have Malice names, and I'm like, well, I can make, like, 1 red ransom, I guess, and then we go home. So, White Binder out is just, like, yeah, Malice is, like... Malice wasn't necessarily a competitive finishing deck. It was really easy, I believe, to hate in the sideboard. Like, just, turn 1, discard Lancia, the deck is dead. You do not get advantage if you can't banish cards, But, excuse me. It's, like I said, it's a really weird case where... Sorry, I'm seeing people, like, light up, but nobody's coming out, so I'm like, am I stuck in a hell of my own making?
No,
I just don't have anything to add.
Well, you're not the one lighting up. It's like, I can't tell if people
I have no
are speaking or
comments on
mics are
Malice.
just...
Dallas is indeed lighting up every so often.
Dallas missed Malice. Yeah, you've missed the Malice meta in Master Duel. They banned the one SR unit that they set up to be banned later. But yeah, no, like it was a deck that was everywhere in Master Duel, it was everywhere in TCG, but it doesn't have a lot of tops, so it's like a really weird case where like people are clearly tired of playing against it, but it also didn't. Did it actually take home any wins? So it's an oddball one to see.
I mean,
but it
get
happens,
better.
There is something
I
funny
should also
about,
say, I figured out why there's no time rolls in Magic. There just hasn't been a draw in a long time in an actual Pro Tour.
I mean, I guess that makes sense with the life totals, but
I mean, if you set it to resolve that way, yeah. But there's Yu-Gi-Oh can be funny that way with the life total. But yes, what were you gonna say, Miss Pear? Probably more about Malice.
It is just funny with Malice where I never really like. I'll be honest, I didn't play through it, but I've read a lot of the cards and seen how combos go down, and it is funny seeing like how this deck definitely felt very overhyped, but it also was doing a lot of interesting things.
Yeah, that's the thing. The part that I say that feels kind of sad about this, because like on the one hand, it's a super linear combo. Like it's literally, what name did you get? Well, start banishing so you can summon them back. Like you go through, and there are, like I said, a couple of generic extenders. Like Gold Sark was basically effectively a not even a Rhoda, but like a summon sorceress. Summon from deck type shit, effectively. But at the same time, it also could build some very annoying boards. It could be very frustrating to deal with some of their stuff going on. Hopefully, like, Konami learns some tricks from this deck. I will say that the thing I always feel bad about is when a deck is clearly, like, coming out of a deck build pack or something, is clearly designed to be upper-level competitive, and therefore, we're not going to support it anytime this decade kind of a thing. Like, genuinely, I think Malice could be a more interesting, more winning deck if they gave it more cards as opposed to just being like, and now play Cyber Slop with your Malice. Turn it all into Dark Cyber Soup. But that's not what they did. And guess what? Malice is probably not going to see support this decade. What's it,
I'll say one thing.
Pencil it in.
I'll say one thing. I'm selfishly very happy Malice has been killed. Because if it ever got too good, I'm worried that it would get cards from decks I play banned.
Unfortunately, I do kind of feel like the new Dark Adignister, the kind of playmaker like bridge card stuff, is also not good in a vacuum, so they probably weren't at risk anyway. Like those are literally bridging cards that are only good if you're already playing like Code Talkers or Adignisters or Malice as a Dark Cybers, and like they're good, but they don't do anything on their own. So that I think I want to say this: I don't think it's incorrect for them to get White Binder and just be like, all right, shut the fuck up about Malice, guys. We get it. Just send that deck out to pasture, for the next 4 years. That's my solid prediction, by the way, Chad. I'm saying it will be until 2030. The world will collapse and we will enter a new dark age, and Malice will still be on the ban list, I bet.
It'll come unbanned in 21-21.
Someone who's probably never coming back because good fucking riddance. Herald of Arclight.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm surprised this card lasted this long.
Why did it take so long?
Herald of Arclight was a card that had a target on its back for so fucking long.
It kind of weaved in and out because during Drytron era, that was super easy to do Hulk shit and set up Herald really easy, right? And when Diviner came out, it was like, oh, okay, that was another thing that was super load bearing for that deck. And it's the classic Yu-Gi-Oh problem, right? Where everybody goes, man, Herald of Arclight sucks. Maybe they'll ban that card. And then somebody else goes, but it's only a problem because of the deck that's enabling it. And you're right. But guess what? That means that any future deck that enables it will be a problem. And so we got another really good ritual archetype and many, many more tools with which to summon guys from the extra deck. This is a multi-spectrum ban. There were cards coming out that were going to make Herald of Arclight good again. We're pretty sure that they can't completely divest of Mitsurugi, that there are some Mitsu hits on this list, but they've announced that March, in a couple of months, there's going to be more Mitsu support. So they can't kill Mitsurugi completely. Because then you're
it's
not
just a card that is good in so many decks.
Hell yeah. It's play it
genuinely, I've played it in most decks. I think if there was a list of most played cards, this would be on my list, on a short list of extra deck cards.
Yeah, no, and it's because Herald's such a good card. Honestly, it's so weird that they put it in our boys, the Heralds, but it's okay, so it's macro. Or actually, it might be specifically maybe DeFi, because I think it might just say monsters.
It's DeFi.
But it's a banish trick. It is a negate. You can tribute it to negate a spell trap, by the way. Most people don't remember that part.
Yep.
Because a lot of people just send it straight from extra deck to graveyard. Because when you send it straight from extra deck to graveyard, you get to add a ritual, too. So, it's an amazing 3-spectrum piece of interaction that is really annoying and just continues to get better and better and better. So, yeah, deserved. One thing I will say, finally, speaking of, of Hitler's, Harpy's Featherstorm finally banned.
Yeah.
This is another one that's people have been asking about for forever, because Featherstorm's another one of those Featherstorm is basically the prototype of the Dominus line of cards, and I think Konami learned when designing the Dominus traps how that should work. Of okay, you might be able to activate this card if your opponent's going first from your hand under certain circumstances, but if you do, you will face certain deck building restrictions. As we now have 4 Dominus traps, and they all block you out of either one half of the 3 of 6 attributes, just light and dark, or just none light and darks now. They've made all 4 of those, so that's cool. Harpy's Featherstorm just says if you control a wind-winged beast, you can activate this card from your hand, and then not even your opponent can't activate effects, but just Negate all your opponent's effects for the rest of this turn. Fuck them. And it's like, why? But
because
fuck you.
Fuck you.
Thank you, Dallas.
I mean, yes, basically.
It's always funny with cards like Featherstorm. Like Featherstorm and Heraldry Arc kind of like, I would say, fit in a similar boat of cards that are really fucking annoying against when specific decks are very meta. And I mean, Herald's pretty generic.
I think Featherstorm, people were complaining about it literally like 5 or 6 years ago now in Bird Up. I think was the first time I heard complaints.
Oh yeah, Bird Up was kind of like there were definitely decks before it, but Bird Up was definitely kind of like the progenitor of when Winged Beast Slop is a deck. Oh dear.
That got Statue of the Stormwinds banned. We saw him earlier. Like that interaction with the Simorgh link was just like,
Simorgh. Okay,
you can just summon this guy from grave or from deck at the end of your turn. You can put a barrier statue that you don't care about. Cool, great.
My brain blanked on the name line.
Yeah. The Simorgh Link 3 was the one that summoned barrier statue from deck in the end phase. That was super cool of them. That was great. But yeah, no. Honestly, I'm happy to see Featherstorm banned because on the one hand, people always go like, "Oh, but we need that support for a struggling legacy deck." Nah, fuck it. Now we can actually get Harpy legacy support. We can get a 2020s Harpy deck out of this.
I'm gonna say this and didn't call this the Magic player in me. Not all decks deserve support. Let your darlings die.
Dallas, I agree with you, but also I really want Impachi's support. Come on, give it to me.
Well, it never got support.
On a deck.
That never got support.
I know.
That's different.
I can dream.
But yeah, no, I think what I want to say about that is, I don't think that as an experienced pet decker, I don't think we should hold out.
As the one Red Eyes person here.
Yes, but also I've played lots of pet decks. Lost plays pet decks. Dallas has played pet decks. I don't think as a pet decker you should stand and be, oh no, you can't ban this card that has generic interaction that's really cool because it supports my archetype. No, you want those cards banned faster because it's more likely that Konami will realize their mistake and actually make you a good card. Look at Crystron.
I've forever accepted that I'm like the weird peeps of this group where I just have opinions that are different to everyone's, and they're sometimes good, but sometimes terribly weird.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with having with differing opinions. It's just a matter of being able to express your opinion sometimes.
Yeah, don't worry, Axe. Just because you have differing opinions, we're not going to kick you out, but to maintain the good vibes.
No, I just demand you guys all move to Monday so I can actually be here.
We will work on that. I haven't talked with Lucky about it yet because I'm not sure if we're done with RE5 or not, but
I don't know if
he often has friend stuff.
You'll lose me.
We'll see. I haven't talked about it with everybody in the group because it's been a while since we've all been here. But yeah, we're doing some theory crafting because Axe's Pathfinder group will not stop functioning on Tuesday.
One of us will die before they're done, I think.
I don't know how it'll go, but someone in that group will need some sort of lifestyle change to need to move, I think, and I don't know if that will happen or not. So we're thinking about stuff. Anyway, yeah, what I was saying though is as a pet decker, I think it's more important if your stuff gets trimmed. I did catch Loth's joke, by the way. I think I was gonna make some jokes about that earlier as well.
Thank you very much.
We got off it. But genuinely, look at Crystron. Hulk finally got banned, and it did take them I think 1 or 2 years to do the next new wave of Crystron support. After that, they did give it another wave of support, including a new Hulk replacement, and that deck actually was really good, so good that some of its stuff had to be on the ban list, and some of it you may see later being freed. But let's look at limits. Let me see. Hold on. Are all of these? Oh my God. Sorry. Rituals have a different color on the ban list. Wild.
Yep.
It's been so long.
Yeah. No, they're very.
It's been
very
since
pale.
what? Since
They're
Cyber Angel Ben 10?
They're like sky blue.
Yeah, the Cyber Angel.
Yeah,
and
also, I have to go.
Bye.
Yes, goodbye, X. We will speak
I'm thinking
later.
it's what? Like going down the list, it's what? The Cyber Angels, the Necros, some of the Evagishki, because like the hand loop bullshit. It's like there haven't really been many rituals on the. I guess I don't know. Relinquish it was only 1,000 restrict. So yeah, I guess it was only really those guys.
It was restrict. Like Ruin saw some hits like way back in the day. Demise and Ruin.
Oh yeah, Demise.
But
did.
that's like ancient. But no, yeah. So let's go for this in a reasonable order. First of all, Dracotel Mululu. He is not Lububu. The Lus are in the wrong place. Even though he is a weird little guy, though also isn't. I think Lububu is a girl, actually, but I don't know what's up with Mululu. But he's going to one.
Labubu is.
It's their little plushie.
I had to fight it. I was gonna say something about do my chocolate. No.
No, it's
What?
okay. You
We'll
must
see
not
if the
pursue
we'll see if the
Labubu.
SEO kicks in with us just talking. But yeah, Mululu to one. I will say this: Dracotail is actually pretty easy to put together in Master Duel. It is very high rarity, but a lot of those cards did kind of flow out of the sets and stuff. Mululu's a good hit because obviously, like, Phimena is a very important card. Phimena is the one you. We did talk about Dracotail some months ago at some point when that deck build pack was released in paper. But Phimena is the one you can discard from your hand to fusion summon. So she's a really important card for like turn 0 play. And a lot of people were like, oh, they're going to hit Phimena. No, I think if they hit Phimena, that's when we will see Dracotail being put out to pasture. Like Dracotail will be killed. Mululu is the card that is a fusion summon on your field.
I'm sorry.
Mululu.
Yeah, I know. I can only
I know,
think
I
of the
know. I
fucking
hear it,
Age
I
of
hear it.
Empires priest.
But like that guy is
Hello?
a slow effect, an ignition effect to fusion summon. So like that's a good way to get your hand kickstarted. That's not required for the deck to function. Like it unsticks your hand sometimes. So yeah, definitely to one that works out. Yokul going to one, probably a good idea. K9's still really strong. And Yokel is one of the cards that's bridgeable. VS Holly Sue to one. Holy Sue to one. Spoilers for later, a couple of Vanquish Soul cards got unlimited. This is basically just like the Vanquish Soul tax. Vanquish Soul won Worlds, they immediately hit it, and now it's been like 6 months, and they're like, hey, yeah, so Holly Sue was the problem, but she was in a brand new set. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
She is also the really good, really annoying one.
She's the one that made the deck a tier 1 deck.
She is the all important Earth Vanquish Soul. The good Earth. The good Earth target. Yes. See, get it? I get it. But yeah, no. So like, she also like her on-field effect is a snatch steal, I think, or a change of heart. So yeah, no, like. She is actually a really good, really annoying card, so she was always probably the proper hit, but she was, like, less than 6 months old when Vanquish Soul went to Worlds. That's how fast that turnaround time was that they got good. So, like, yeah, no. Like, it would not have been the right time, but they did send it. I mentioned this earlier. Yummy Snatchy to one. Goodbye, Yummy. Rip Bozo. You are dead. My adorable son, Cupsy, is kill. Like, genuinely?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Genuinely, I've been playing pre-hit Yummy in Master Duel where they banned Obedience School right away, like preemptively completely banned it, and started with Snatchy at 2. 2 Snatchy is tough sometimes because you'll want to weave back and forth, and if your opponent actually manages to gum up both Snatchies in your graveyard, you're like, well, shit, what would really, it really is truly the third Snatchy that would get them. Snatchy to one is like, this deck is cooked.
Yeah, it's the central piece to how the deck functions essentially.
Yeah. So
Like,
and without the ability to weave back and forth, it's like, so if your opponent puts your one Yummy Snatchy in a place where you can't interact with it anymore, which is not that hard. They just need to like do the correct interactions that you don't get it back out of graveyard, or like if you banish it or something else, like. Or, it gets summoned improperly and gets negated, and they just run it over. Like, you will be in trouble. And so Yummy is probably cooked. Ame no Habakiri no Mitsurugi. to 1. Good riddance.
Yeah.
This is the Habakiri is the Mitsurugi that does everything. It's the one that you reveal it in hand and shuffle it back to do all the stuff. It's also a big fucking guy. Like, yeah, no, that's... I know people, like, if you show them Habakiri, they will scoop. They don't care what the other 4 cards in your hand are. You reveal Habakiri, they're just like, nah, go next, brother. So, no.
Clearly what you need to do is have Habakiri in your deck, but you're not even playing.
Well, that's what I mean, right? Like, there are some people who are like, I'm not taking that chance. I'm not taking that chance that you're not playing a real full power Mitsu deck. I'm just gonna go home. Like, that's how strong Habakiri is. So, yeah, no, probably deserved to make it less likely. Make it more obvious that you're getting to Habakiri. Obviously, there are a lot of ways to search it. One of which also banned with what's his face, Arclight out, right? Like, you can't, bin Arclight from your extra deck to add Habakiri now. You're less likely to natively draw it, so that's probably pretty good for it to go to 1. But again, not be banned yet. Let's just scroll down to the spell zone. Case for K9 to 1. I believe that's the starter spell in K9. It's been a while since we looked at K9s. But yeah, your starters to 1 now. With Yokel at 1, this really limits K9's ability to go into decks. For Draco Tail, they limited Ketu to 1. Ketu is a phenomenal card. If you don't remember what Ketu does, everybody at home, that is the Draco Tail spell that is Rhoda and then is Poly. It's a searcher, and then if your opponent controls a card, you get to fuse after searching. So yeah, really, really strong card. Also, by the way, every single Draco, like literally every Draco Tail monster also says, if this card was sent as fusion material, set a Draco Tail spell trap from your deck.
Oh, that's fun.
So it's not like getting to Ketu is hard.
You might have just said it, and I just didn't hear it. But this is just generic dragon and or spellcaster fusion.
Yes, no. Also, that's true. Yeah, you just spell fusion summon a spellcaster or a fusion monster, or a dragon monster. Yeah,
a dragon or spellcaster, arguably the 2 most prevalent types in the game.
No. Got a lot of really strong selections. Yeah. So, like I said, it's literally Rhoda. It's effectively polymerization, for the deck you're playing. Your extra deck is full of spellcaster and dragon fusions you want. And also, like I said, going to 1, you're still going to see this card, in play because your opponent will search it. It's just that case of, now it's unlikely they're going to get to cycle through multiples, and if you do somehow negate it or pop it or something, you will be less likely to have to contend with it again and again and again. That sort of thing. So that's a very interesting...
Yeah, that's...
Is this on screen?
Wow. Holy shit. That's I've avoided some of the Draco Tail stuff. I guess haven't been plugged in Yu-Gi-Oh!
Draco Tail's really funny because... Oh, what else was in that deck build pack? It was Yummy. It was Draco Tail. I think... Was it also K9? Yeah, I think it was.
So, that sounds right.
Draco Tail was considered the weakest of the 3. It was supposed to be the classic lag behind deck. And then because, obviously, K9 really, really rocked out with Vanquish Soul K9. And did get some hits as a result. But, was a very, very strong deck. And Yummy was really strong for a while, but they did eventually ban Obedience School before, obviously, now the Snatchy hit. Draco Tail has kind of, cruised as, well, guess what? Being the 3rd best behind, generational winners, Yummy and K9. Hey, guess what? Bronze medalist is still placing a medal in the Olympics, brother.
I mean, yeah, a placing is still a placing. You still get prize money in 3rd.
Yeah, no. So they're still doing great. That will be a great point of comparison tonight because we are going to talk about Hecahands, widely considered to be the weakest of the 3 decks from Phantom Revenge, and is not going to be a sleeper hit because we have knowledge of what Konami's upcoming support for this deck will be, and unfortunately, it really feels like they are not treating Hecahands the same way they are treating Enneacraft and I forgot what's the 3rd one. Enneacraft.
Oh, forget.
Don't look at me. I can't remember.
Enneacraft is in Phantom Avengers, which is Hecahands, Enneacraft, and Cool Tune.
Ah, yes. The Kiel tunes. Yeah, which are another deck that Konami has been going absolutely apeshit on.
So wind back around to that payout point, just for literal numbers, for example. For apropos of nothing at all, in the Kentucky Derby, we'll say. First place of that is 3.1 million payout. Second place is 1 million, and third place is still 500K. That's like, sure, it's racehorse money. It's nothing at that point. That's still a fuck ton of money to just make for hitting third place. Like you're still beating. You're still beating all sorts of other like gigantic names in that competition.
Yeah, no. So like that's kind of the position that Draco Tail is in. Like they're still a really good deck, and like arguably because of like pre-hits too yummy. I'm pretty sure K9 still isn't in Master Duel somehow. Like I'm
sure.
I don't think I've seen it yet. It's probably this upcoming month. But yeah, like, so we're in a really weird case where, like, yeah, no, like, Draco Tail is arguably still the stronger deck in Master Duel, for instance. So, yeah. But let's look at the semi-limited list and the unlimits. Semi-limited, Drill and Lock to 2. RIP 1/3 of Bozo.
Does this do anything?
Not really. This is the thing I was talking about, Dallas. Of the you could have just like pulled the trigger on that one actually though.
Because I'm a sociopath and I run all my hand traps at 2 anyway.
I mean,
so,
there are arguments to that math. Like you can cram more hand traps if you put them all at 2 than if you run them at 3, and like you have a decent chance of drawing some of them. And Droll is still a turn-ending card, so it's in a weird case. This is almost purely just because everybody is saying it was on prominent streamed games, like tournament-winning games were decided by Droll. Like the wider Yu-Gi-Oh community is fucking tired of this guy, of this stupid bird and his stupid twink.
Okay, guys, but with all due respect, you have to have a plan for Droll and Lockbird.
Why didn't you not play against an opponent who drew it? Like, just skill issue.
Yeah, no, this is a case of like in pure numbers. I guess hitting it to 2 makes a difference, but it doesn't make enough of a difference that it's going to move the needle for.
Yeah, like either don't honestly, either don't do anything, put it to 1, or kill it. Like you picked the one option that pleases no one.
Yeah, if this was limiting it, I would have been like, okay, I honestly would have just preferred a straight banning, but I can understand not wanting to go straight from 3 to 0 on a.
This is a very un-TCG-like hit. I know that Droll is currently 2 in Master Duel. I think it was already 2 in the OCG. So like, I feel like as just a game as a whole, much like how the OCG is being very slowly weaned off Max C. We are now weaning everybody off Droll and Lockbird. I think we could have gone with a much more definitive hit. Once again, I'm looking at the semi-limit list, and it's like, I don't know the literal percentages, but I want to say that like 90% of these could just be one-ofs. Like Ice and Sword Ryzeal to 1, yeah, you should just fuck it. First, White Rabbit doesn't matter.
The only cards here that I think should stay at 2 are the Pearly card.
Yeah, because those are cards that if they were at 3, you could search. Like Runic Fountain, you should either suck it up and say you can play Runic Fountain or limit it to 1. Like that's just don't make me have to fight 2 Runic Fountain. Either make it so that just you can play Runics, or make it so that you only get 1. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
Same with like Branded Fusion. That's the one where I'm like, just make up your mind, Konami. I understand that like Albaz is a huge marketing appeal for you, but like pick a lane, please.
I'm sorry, not to get ahead of myself, not to get ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
I glanced down.
You look at the unlimits, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We'll get to those. We'll get to those.
Hey, oh no. The unlimits are super fun. But yeah, the semi-limited list. The only thing they added was Droll, and like I said, I'm pretty sure most of these could be at 1 or 3. Like,
Yeah,
I respect the use of the semi-limited list as, like, we're not sure if we want to go straight to 3 off of, 0 to 1. Like, I get that, obviously. And I do think there are certain cases, like we talked about, like the Pearly Memories. Pearly literally has a spell card to search any 3, memory names. So, like, if you literally have 3 copies, you're guaranteed.
It's like how for the longest time it was the malicious a purgatory zone.
Yeah, because they were like, one, if we limit malice to not malice, malicious. If we limit malicious to 1, he's useless. He doesn't do anything. If we put malicious to 3, you're probably seeing too many maliciouses. So we'll put him at 2 until it's okay. And eventually it did become okay. Eventually we realized that, bin malice for DPE or whatever.
Eventually we gave D Heroes maliciouses 4, 5, and 6, and they realized it didn't matter, so they gave us 7.
Yeah, they were just like, fuck it, we ball. You can have as many. You can play as many maliciousness as you want. We don't care. You're not making shit.
I forget the name of the card, but it's the Doom Chain guy or whatever the fuck, where he just puts malicious back in the grave. That's what he exists to do.
They did this whole thing. Also, I would say same with Malice and Underground. That's their field spell, which is also a starter, and it's like you probably could have just put that at 1. I'm very curious with, like, next list, will, like, a bunch of Malice names be put back to 3 with Whitebinder banned? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I agree with you that I don't mind it as a, like, weaning off or weaning on zone of, like, we don't want to put this straight to 3. That's fine for semi-limit zone, but, like, if it's fine, it's fine. Put them to 3 or put them back to 1. That's, like, it shouldn't be a consistent spot a card is in.
And God, like I said, God knows that, like, I do know that, like, some of these cards, like Branded Fusion and Runic Fountain, for instance, do just kind of, like, ping-pong up and down the list because, like, I'm trying to think of the best way to say this. I don't want to say it's, like, quite the same as pet decking, but, like, Runic and Branded, like, did something to some people's brain chemistry, and they are, like, permanently activated for that deck. And if you unlimit those, they will be able to do, stuff with it. Well, here's the problem, Dallas. You don't play Branded like a normal person. You don't play Runic like a normal person.
I was like, Omega, I was not talking about the Branded half on that one.
Oh, I know, but I also know you have thought about teching Branded into things. But, like, it's the same with Runics. You don't play Runics like a normal person either.
I have 7 different Runic decks.
Yes. But what I mean is that, like, if pure Runic is completely unlimited, there will be people who will go back to playing it despite the fact that it's, like, 6 fucking years out of date. Same with Branded stuff. Like, so, those kind of ping-pong up and down the list, because the moment you go, like, oh, Branded Fusion to 3, somebody's going to be like, Branded, and you're going to start seeing them at tournament cuts, and then Konami goes, whoa, wait a minute, those cards are 5 years old. We're not making any money. You already own all those cards.
For me, I don't mind a card being on semi-limit, as long as it's one of those cards that's constantly in flux. Like, I don't mind a card moving up. I don't mind a card being in flux on the ban list. That's fine. Like, because sometimes there are cards that are just, this card's fine this format. Oh, it's not fine this format. It's probably fine this format. Oh, no, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. Like, that's fine.
Honestly, that's kind of how, like, the Genesis point adjustments have felt, where they're just like, sorry, Ninja still costs too many points. We were getting our ass beat for no reason. Sorry, my bad. Like, we will make that cheaper.
Funny. The Ninja point story is so funny to think about.
We were getting sauced by Glad Beasts in playtesting for 2 years. Sorry, we didn't realize some of, like, that's so funny, because that's basically the Genesis team going, oh, sorry, we thought you guys had ball knowledge. It turns out just none of you are a generational talent. You are not the greatest Glad Beast pilot in the world. Didn't know we had that guy on our squad, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's so much fun with playtest of a game from going from playtesting into official play, and, like, the immediate cavalcade of, oh, we now have, like, hundreds times of people playing our format, and they're finding out everything is broken. Oh fuck. oh, we didn't playtest enough, I guess, or we just missed.
No, and you see that all the time. I saw that like way back in the day with first edition of X-Wing Miniatures. I was following that community for a while because X-Wing Miniatures is a game that's pretty cool. Their second edition cleaned up a lot of stuff, but there were genuinely people who were like, oh, you know, what, like, didn't they see these interactions? Why aren't they building for this? And it's like, well, you see, before they preview this stuff to people at home, they probably only have a small internal team testing it. And, like, there's only so many, like, hours in the day that you guys can run, you know, even if it's your job, there's only so many test games you can run in a day to try out every combination and see.
They need someone with my mentality on their staff where they're like, I'm gonna do this in so many different ways until it breaks.
But let's talk about the unlimits. Wyver Burst or Collapse Serpent are back to 3. This was a case where they were previously semi-limited because they were at 1 for like forever, so Konami was like testing the waters, and they're back.
They were fine.
Is this fine? It was fine.
Dark Grepher is free. I fucking forgot he was limited to 1 still. That's like
still
Dark
limited?
Warrior shit from like 2020.
Yeah, no.
Yes.
I think he's perfectly fine, but it is like, it's always interesting seeing a card like Dark Grepher's like, this is definitely a combo piece that somebody can break, but also it's funny. Like, is it really doing anything?
Listen, if fucking Armageddon Knight ass, you know, Dark Warrior combos come back, go for it.
Hell
Actually,
yeah.
let me check the list. Is Armageddon Knight still limit 1?
Phantom Knights will be
he's
really
free
good
also.
for sure this time.
Yeah, so Armageddon Knight has previously been freed. I don't see him on the limit 1. So yeah, Dark Grepher to 3 is fine. Also, we're going absolutely Beast Warrior mode. Dryden to 3.
Yeah.
Fuck you, ball.
Yeah, that's probably fine. It's surely fine, but like
honestly, probably just
Zudiak
because there are.
If it's not fine, Yu-Gi-Oh players are fucking dumb.
There's already many other Ixie monsters at rank 4 which are like crazy that you can play cards of, you know. So like, yeah, sure, you can probably play Dryden at 3. You're not gonna put 3 slots in
Zudiak's a deck that made me quit competitive Yu-Gi-Oh, so I will always hold a grudge against it, especially Dryden.
Yeah, no, Dryden,
I think, is a rough card, but it's one of those cases where, like, I do not actually think this moves the needle, and more so than unbanning Dryden did.
Oh no, especially not today. Especially not at this point in the game. It just still brings pain. It's personal.
Oh, I understand. Anyway, there's some funny things happening in the Spell Trap zone. So first of all, Stake Your Soul is free. Crystron Inclusion is free. Those 2 cards were limited as a result of some Canine variant decks. Change of Heart to 3.
Yeah.
Snatchy Steel to 3.
This is wait, Snatch Steal to 3?
Yeah,
it's probably
3
fine.
Snatch Steal,
Honestly,
3
I don't.
Change of
Okay,
Heart.
you know what? I'm gonna be this guy. Snatch Steal to 3 is not fine. You want to know what my evidence for that is? Every time they've thought it was fine, it was not fine. So until it proves otherwise, I'm going to assume it's not fine.
I'm sure. What's the worst that could happen?
Snatch Steal is in every tournament deck again.
I don't think it will be in every turn. Like, I don't think the way Yu-Gi-Oh decks work is they have the space for shit like that. But if you are playing a deck that can search equips, of which there are some, you might see some more Snatch Steals. I think the question is just, is that going to do stuff? And I don't know. Like, technically, I don't think there's any Mikanko hits on the list. You could already been playing 3 Snatch Steal. It's called, I think, Water Arabesque is the Mikanko Snatch Steal.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think Snatch Steal can still...
Before
I
go, Widow Anchor.
Yeah, Widow Anchor too.
Yeah, you know, that's a card that's been up and down. Yeah, I see where Dallas is coming from, and a lot of people are kind of hesitant, and I kind of agree that, like, well, it's not worked any of the previous times they've tried bringing Snatch Steal back, but it might be okay this time.
I think Snatch Steal can still end up, for lack of a better word, stealing games. Like, it's one of those cards that will always be it. It will always do it. But I also just don't see it being, like, that critical a combo piece at this point in the game.
I mean, it's
also, like,
Isolde's been
realistically,
sent to hell, so like,
is there like
what's the? I don't even know.
Like-
There are
like you were
many
saying,
cards
like,
which search equips, but like,
even-
what is the deck that plays?
even
Them?
though-
You're not gonna like tech. If you weren't playing like 3 Hidden Armory 1 Snatch Steal, you're not gonna play 3 Hidden Armory 3 Snatch Steal, right?
well, you're probably not playing Hidden Armory because it doesn't it lock at special summoning?
Does it? I thought it was just send one card from. It might. I don't know. I
It,
don't
it
remember.
has some kind of
There's-
it has some kind of lock. I forget what it is.
There,
It's
but
easy
like
to-
there are several tools to like generically search equip spells that people aren't playing and weren't playing with Snatch Steal at 1. So like I don't know. It'll be interesting.
you
to
cannot
see
normal
the,
summon or set the turn activate Hidden Armory.
can't normal summon.
Yeah.
That's a. Not every deck would hate that, but like I said, if you weren't already a deck that could survive that, right, and you weren't playing like 3 of that in 1, you're not gonna play 3 and 3. You know, like.
I also, again, like you said earlier, Snatch Show being at 3 sounds scary, but I don't see many decks playing it more than 1 anyways. So like does it really change anything?
It might change some of the side deck math, but we'll see. I think that's what
guess
Change
so.
of Heart is doing, right? Like I think they put Change of Heart to 3 because they had Change of Heart to 1 for like the longest time, and people weren't playing it, so they're like, "Fuck it, okay, sure, you can play Change of Heart at 3. We don't care."
This is purely a betting the over situation where it's like, do I have any empirical evidence for this? No, other than past precedent. It's literally, I just need them to prove me it's not broken. I just need that. Will it probably be fine? Yes. But I don't know.
We'll see. We'll see. Like I said, I like honestly, the Change of Heart Unlimit is like that's secretly the Hecahands buff. That's because
Yeah.
Hecahands is all about using your opponent's stolen monsters. So like, yeah, sure, you can play 3 Change of Heart. Who cares? Like I said, I think 3 Change of Heart, because Change of Heart also absolutely can win games. That's probably
Oh, yeah.
changing the side deck math. Because you weren't playing, 1 Change of Heart in your side, you might play 3 and just be like, "Fuck it, we ball." My opponent's
like-
deck will die if I Change of Heart them.
yeah.
Yeah, like regardless, I think I do think Snatch Steal and Change of Heart being at 3 is potentially dangerous, but I just don't see many decks having the space to play them at 3 unless it's like with Hecahands. It's kind of baked into the concept, but
Like, it's one of
Either
those
way.
cases where, like, both of these cards were at 1 and we're not seeing play, and it's like, it's one of those things where ultimately, if you're running a Forbidden and Limited list, right, and you're looking at your list and you're going, okay, well, it's banlist season, we're looking at some changes, oh, we still have Change of Heart at 1. It's like, is anybody playing it? You start looking through the deck list and you're like, well, nobody's playing it. Will it break something? And you're like, man, I don't know.
I 100% support Change of Heart to 3. I'll say that. It's literally just Snatch Steal because it's an equipment spell.
Like I said, I think Snatch Steal is... I keep wanting to say Snatchy is a funny abbreviation, but that would get confusing. The Steely Dan of Steel. I can make that joke with this crowd. But
Still
if
the best
you're
utilization in
if
that
you're
entire
if
thing.
you're using your Dan of Steel, chat, it is an equip spell. That makes it much more searchable, but also makes it more interruptible. Like, Change of Heart is like one and done if you don't have a spell negate. And I think it's also targeting protection. Like, you can't do anything about it. Snatch Steal is like, play Cosmic Cyclone, play MST, you pop it. There are a lot of cards that, like, pop your opponent's interactions, right?
I understand that, but like no one plays those. Well, not no one. There's the
No, not
MS,
true, actually.
but
Dallas,
Let alone
Ryziel
just
Detonator
playing-
is limit 1 right now. Pop 1 is really good, actually. They just unlimited Dryden.
Okay.
I think Dryden's any card, not just monsters.
like I
they're-
said,
they're-
I don't think it'll be a problem, but it might be.
And like I said, I think that's reasonable because you are correct, Dallas, that every single time, like, people thought that when they put Snatch Steal to 1, they were like, oh, it's been only 3 or 4 years since Konami last unlimited or unbanned Snatch Steal, and it was like immediately banned next format. Like, are you guys sure? And they were like, yeah, we're sure. And hey, it turned out that was like Visper said earlier, it hasn't done anything. You're not seeing it in the lists. So, very interesting ban list. I think, because this one doesn't even go into effect until, like, next week, I still think it was very important. Yes, thank you, Chad Dryden, is any face-up card. I think it is important that they did announce this a little ahead of time, because we are in a state which, the talking heads of Yu-Gi-Oh!, Peeps and MBT and the likes have talked about, where, like, the format's not bad in TCG, but we also know that none of the announced upcoming product is probably going to move the needle that much. Like, even if some of the new stuff is okay, it was not going to beat the current state of, Yummy, VSK9, Draco Tail, etc.
Yeah, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Meta is just... It's... Stagnation's not the exact right term, but it's... Like... It's a consequence of TCG, where because we have so much foresight on what's happening, we can already kind of like, well, okay, we know nothing coming is going to we know none of the new archetypes coming out are likely going to be any match for what's already good. So like, I don't know, there's nothing new spicing up the format. Yeah. And, like, obviously there can be outliers. You can always see some oddball ones. Like, we don't know exactly what's coming with, like, that Mitsu card they've announced. They're, what archetypes they're supporting. We're getting the Maze of Muertos not too far away. And while that will bring imports we're expecting, it probably won't shift the needle too much. Like, there may be something to the Dark Magician support in that one, but that might also be waiting for the Overframe stuff to come together. The Hero stuff is also good, but probably won't break the bank either. But the Pumpkin stuff, Zombie Ixie, like Call of the Haunted Turbo, that could be a thing. Like, because those maze sets have been kind of like strongly hit or miss in their meta relevance. Gate Guardian is a huge winner for like limited and low power sets. Like, the game design was crazy good. It's just, again, because it was a TCG exclusive, I don't think they're getting extra support anytime soon, which sucks. Because like the deck could use probably a couple of other pieces of support. Retrain Dungeon Worm. Give me more normal summons. It'll get its OCG support in like 2 years, and then it'll take us a year to get it.
Yeah. The Flame Swords and stuff was also good, but unfortunately that was a go second turbo strategy right around the time I think Tenpai was good. So like, wasn't winning any awards.
It got massively overshadowed despite being a pretty interesting low to the ground strategy.
Yeah, it's a very solid strat if you want to do go second. Like, I tested it out both in Master Duel and in like simulators, and like, no, getting to your full combo where your opponent is just dead is like super easy. Like, through battlefield, through protection, and you're just like, nah, I'm gonna I've burned you a little bit, and this guy's like 78. You're dead. It's done. Like any little bit of extension would take you completely over the top. So like, it was very reliable. Our last maze set was Man with the Mark. That's good. That shit's actually good. Like, that's problematically good in some cases. Like, that guy got tops. Everybody was laughing that Odeon wasn't going to go anywhere, and then, he fucking showed up. He's got top cuts.
Yeah.
So, like, the Pumpkin stuff could truly go anywhere. Like, it could be, more of like a Gate Guardian and be, like, good and flavorful, but not going to win us any awards, or it could be more Odeon style and be like, oh shit, Zombie is back. Because I'm gonna be real with you, chat, it will not take that much for Zombie to be good. Zombie decks have been a rogue strat for fucking decades in various forms. And I've like, if you want to see, rank 5, rank 6, I think is the direction they're going in. Maybe rank 7. Because I believe the 7 they've talked about is going to overlay over the 6, so it'll be like a free rank up off a Zombie Ixie or something. Like, there's room. We got stuff. So we'll see how that goes later. But yeah, let me switch the window to
the hands.
Paint. Let's talk about Hecahands. Won't take us too long. There are not a lot of Hecahands yet. This deck build pack came out, last month.
They are Heka.
caught something in chat that wasn't on the overlay. But yeah.
I was wondering about that.
The Hecahands. So Hecahands, unlike Cool Tune, Hecahands is an okay localization. They didn't need to change Hecatonkirs or Hecatonkier. It was not pluralized. But I also get that if they didn't want to do that, because Hecahands is definitely like going to be a unique identifier.
Yeah, it's a case of like just having Hecatonchus as the archetype name is cool and like interesting, but also you fucking know that having that on a card, I always go back to the Yosenju cards for this case where I'm trying not to I don't know how to say this without it sounding like an insult. The TCG thinks we're fucking dumb, and I don't think that's necessarily like they think we're fucking dumb in terms of like names, I should say. And like they're inconsistent with it because like the Habakiri stuff they go all in on, but like back then with like the Yosenju, it's like all the Kamaitachi, and Kamamitachi, they were just Kama 1, 2, and 3, which I get that, but then like every other Yosenju card had its name shortened.
Could that be for? No, probably not, because if it's phonetic, then I don't even know why you would change the lip
because like
Oyama
Biko was just Oyam.
Yeah, no. Like for decks that are in the anime first, there's always a chance that like the localization team gets a hold of them first and like has to deal with like the lip flap problem. But no, if they're already phonetic names, then it's like, yeah, no, you're not actually changing the lip. You're conserving lip flaps anywhere. So, yeah, it doesn't really matter. And obviously, with Hecatonkirs into Hecahands, it doesn't. So it's one of those cases where, like I said, I get why they might change it and why they might not change it. I believe it's actually jump forward. Is it? Okay, yeah. So, it is a dual reading. So, like, you're in Japanese, it is phonetically Hecatonkirs, but you're supposed to read it as unseen hand. So, like, it's one of those cases where sometimes I think the TCG department just splits the difference of like authenticity, and it's like, I get it, but also you didn't have to. You did not have to do that.
Yeah,
you know, to make it both hands and Hecatonkirs.
Yeah, it's messy and like it's an archetype name that like saying it out loud just sounds off. I don't know, like
I will say to me, I mean, I'm a huge nerd, so me saying Hecahands, while I do get to make puns, like I can. Hey, chat, you've heard me say it pretty good, but I have no problem pronouncing Hecatonkirs.
Yeah,
and I have been mispronouncing it. Okay, so it's an alternate pronunciation then, because I've always pronounced it Hecatonkirs.
I think depending on the ending vowel, because there's like plural and non-plural. There's a couple of different ways.
It's all Greek to me.
Literally.
The like original OCG name of this archetype is Hecatonkir. They do not pluralize it. And I believe that is a single, 100-handed giant. But yeah, I can say Hecatonkir. Fairly okay. And I admit, based on what I've seen out of Yugi tubers, which I do unfortunately think the TCG department pays a little too much attention to sometimes, there do sometimes seem to be reactions based on YouTube content. Oh, yes. No. Like, slight offense meant to Douglas Zeef about it. I have seen him like struggle with a incredibly basic Japanese name before.
Omega, it's not just Yugi tubers though. I think we're the weird ones. I was at work today, and they were doing a cultural festival thing where they were playing a bunch of songs in different languages. And the song they picked from Japan was from, according to the principal of the school, the Princess Mononoke.
Oh my God! What is it? The year 1990?
Honestly, Mononoke, I would accept. Like
Mononoke, you're trying at least. That's the correct kind. This is a thing that does trip up some people because English is a fucking dumbass baby language made by beating up other languages. Because, like, we have this thing where sometimes we decide not to pronounce all the syllables. Other languages are like, no, fucker, you pronounce every single syllable. Both Greek and Japanese are like that.
That's not true. French is also like this. I'm not letting the French get away with only English being called a heinous language.
I will let the French get away with anything.
French is also... There's a YouTuber, I can't remember his name. I want to give him credit. He does skits about languages. And it's always English and French who are causing problems.
Well, believe it or not, a lot of our problems, Dallas, come from the fact that at some point, fancy pants English people tried to make English more like French and Latin. They tried to make a Germanic language into a Romance language, which is part of the reason why English is super fucked. Also, there's a lot going back to, like, the Battle of Hastings and, like, the Norman Conquest, where, like, a lot of words in English where we have two words for the same thing are because of those are Norman words, which come from, like, the French root. Like, you know, beef versus cow kind of a thing. Sheep versus veal. That's all, like, Norman loanwords. So, yeah, like, it's not entirely English's fault. We've ended up so fucked up, but we have ended up as a really fucked up language with a lot of, like, words and forced grammar.
Oh, no, I want to be clear. I'm never going to defend English as a language. I just also want to shit on French.
But well, actually, that reminds me. Let me go look at what the fucking non-English speaking TCG translations of this is. So it is.
Oh yeah. No.
Yeah, it's all Hecahands. It's Hecahands all the way down. French is Hecamane. Italian Hecamani.
So, yeah, it's just
Hecamanos.
It is just Hecka and then hands.
But if you've ever, by the way, also if anybody ever goes, oh, is English a Germanic language? Yeah, the German for this archetype is Hecahande. Hecahande. You know, they got the umlauts to let you know that you got to put a little extra emphasis on the A, and it's got an E at the end.
I need someone with a thick German accent to say that angrily at me, because that'll be hilarious.
I'm just curious what this
Achtung.
And the Korean one is just Hecatonker. So it's just Hecatonker.
No, they just go for the like. I'm sure all the Asian are like forced just the read, because it's like I said, phonetically it's Hecatonkir in the OCG, but then they have the double read, so it's like, so you know, like the power of multiple kanji languages. Japanese gets to be, you read this Hecatonkir, what do we mean by that? Unseen hand. And it's like, all right. So these guys are all named after the Hecatonkires. The 100-handed ones, who are giants with hundreds of arms and many faces. They also do a lot of reference to Beetlejuice, which, if you don't know, that is how you pronounce that star name. Betelgeuse.
Yeah, Betelgeuse.
Alpha Aronis, if you're curious about the more modern archetypal name. But that is part of Orion, and in Arabic, the names of the star Betelgeuse are related to, you know, parts of the hand.
Yes.
Ibn al-Jawza.
Yad al-Jawza.
Mankib al-Jawza.
And oh man, I love Super Monkey Ball.
It's
wiki...
also really common with not I don't know why the wiki is saying specific Cthulhu, but it just
it says
weird
Elder Gods,
fucked up sci-fi horror.
Yeah, Beetlejuice, Algol, like a couple of those stars are like known for having stuff going on there. The Hyades obviously well known for like the King in Yellow and shit, but like so like spooky occult stuff. They do point out that like the dark monsters are named after the Hecatonkirs, the light monsters are named after stars. So there's probably something deliberate going on there. But this is Hecahands Breus. Yeah, they're all illusions. Not all of them have the illusion thing. Though some of them are protected, but they are an illusion archetype that does stuff. And y'all know I am one of Illusion's strongest soldiers. Every single time a Yugi tuber complains about Illusion monsters, it doesn't matter how I feel about the video, I dislike their YouTube video. This is a true fact about me. If you shit talk Illusions, we're enemies.
It's on sight.
I am Chimera Fusion's strongest soldier. Not true, actually. There are much better Chimera soldiers than I am. But like, I will rep Illusions. I love those guys.
Let me file this information away for later to use against you.
But yeah, no, like I do like Illusion archetypes, and obviously I appreciate that many of them remember to do the neither can be destroyed by battle thing, but also like it would probably be annoying for game design if they all literally had to do that. So some of them do that, and some of them don't. They are chaos typed.
Breeze. I
So-
love the art.
Yeah, no, these guys are sick. He's very gloopy. He has multiple arms.
Very alien.
He looks sick.
Well, he does
Probably
have
very
some
Spawn.
orbs.
Very
Also,
Spawn.
yes. You say
yeah,
alien,
no,
I can see it being alien adjacent. Like alien archetype.
Well, I feel like almost like he's got them symbiotes.
Yeah. No, this is very comic book alien.
Yeah, like he looks like, in addition to being a green muscle guy, he's also covered in a venom-ass symbiote that lets him grow more arms and or claws if he feels like it.
What the hell is this? Is one of Venom's kids? Hold on.
He's also got a giant scythe blade coming out of his head, shoulder.
Yeah,
Neck.
he's got blades coming out of his body in like bizarre directions, but they're like
Yeah.
they don't look like they look intentionally chaotic because like the blades spawning out of the tentacles. So I think it's just like he's just mid attack and just like throwing everything at you in all these different directions.
I will say this is one of my favorite modern interpretations of the Hecaton Gears. The wrapping the modern human mind around a guy who's got like 50 faces and 100 arms is like, that's tough to visually present. So we usually get very non-Euclidean with it. So this is one of those types of things where like, well, he doesn't literally have 100 arms all the time. It's that he has the power to manifest as many arms as he needs to stab you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My brain is
And-
also struggling with that extra arm coming out from behind his head because it makes his shoulders look fucked up and his head is like.
Oh, his
looking
shoulders
like he's
are
in a
fucked
wrong
up.
angle.
His shoulder on that left side is like really big because it's got 2 arms in it. Like, it is actually like he is asymmetrical, and that's like really, really sick visual design for these guys.
Yeah.
But it is a sick visual design. My brain is just going, why does his head look like it's on its nipple?
I mean, I think that's intentional because again,
His body's
they're
all goofed up.
I get that. It's just the initial look. My brain registers this and goes, huh. Sorry.
Also, thank you. I tabbed over
Sorry
to
to
check
interrupt
chat.
you.
Architect saying English is 3 languages stacked on each other and wearing a trench coat. Yes, very true. So Breus here is a Dark Illusion level 7, 2800 attack, 1300 defense. Not that it matters too much because if this card battles a monster, neither can be destroyed by that battle. You can use each of the following effects once per turn. If a card's added to your opponent's hand, except during the damage or draw phase or the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand. During your main phase, you can look at one random card in your opponent's hand. If it's a monster, you can special summon it to your field. So this kind of gives you a turn 0 play. You can summon Breus if your opponent adds a card to their hand, which is pretty common.
I would say so.
The main thing is just that its hand ripping effect is only during your main phase. I think that is important though, because hand ripping can be very problematic. So like just being like, all right, during my main phase, hey, show me that card in your hand. Look at a random card. Shuffle them. Blah, blah. Which one is that? Ah, that's a monster? Okay, summon it. It's mine now. So gives you access to your opponent's monsters. Even if it's not, you get to look at one card in their hand, which may or may not matter. The beautiful thing is, obviously, though, if it works, is like, well, if it's a hand trap, then it's mine. Yunkus. yes, I mentioned it earlier, but this is the primary. Besides being illusions, the primary gimmick of this archetype is that they steal cards from your opponent, specifically monsters.
Okay.
They can steal them from a variety of places. So Breus grabs a monster in hand, maybe. Our next boy, let me shrink him down a little. Let's go 80%.
Is it Gygas?
Yes. Which they spelled a little weirdly in the transliteration, but not off, I should say. Like
that happens a lot in the TCG, especially like they kind of like go a little like they go off in spelling to not literally be the reference.
Yeah, because like
I guess it's just like
in the OCG it would be pronounced Gygasu, but you know I'm pretty sure normally in Greek there's just a Y in this for Gigas.
Yeah.
Or just and not AI.
I mean this as a compliment. That's one fucked up Creaturezoid.
Oh no, this guy's great. I love Gygas here. Look at this guy.
You know what this is giving me? Oh my god, what's the fucking thing in Persona 3?
Oh, Nyx?
Which one?
No, not Nyx. The dickbag dog. Yes. No, it looks like Erebus.
I've never even played
this guy's real goofed up because like he's got like 3 dragon heads but also arms for days. Like I don't think it has legs. I think it has arms. More arms down there.
You see what looks like a forest behind it? That's not vines or branches. Those are just more arms.
That may actually be true.
Honestly, yeah, it looks like it.
Like they're all kind of the same stuff. I like the like subtle color palette because it's like so his like horns and claws are kind of brassy or golden colored, and then you can see that he's got blue skin underneath, but then the black stuff, the symbiotes, is covering him also.
So I just thought of it. How horrifying would that be? You walk through a forest and turns out all the trees are just actually some creature's arms belonging to the same creature.
Well, Loth, have you ever encountered the black goat of the wood with 1,000 young?
She's a classy lady, Omega.
It's true by comparison, but yes, we don't need to talk about all that going on. Anyway, Gygas is another 7 illusion dark. His stats are the other way: 1,200 attack, 2,800 defense. If this card battles, neither can be destroyed. You use each of the following effects once per turn. If a card's added to your opponent's hand, you can special summon this card. Fuck you, stop adding cards to your hand. During your main phase, excavate the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck. If you do, special summon 1 excavated monster to your field, shuffle the rest into the deck. So this is Gygas is another very fun one. So you look at 3, you pick 1 monster to summon, and then you shuffle the rest back. So not only do you get to steal a monster, but also your opponent doesn't get those cards.
So I'm assuming there is, but like, are there direct payoffs to like tributing or using your opponent's monsters for shit in this archetype? I have to assume.
Yes, that will be more when we look at their extra deck, but also when we look at their spell traps. They have a couple of interactions which are like. I think literally they have one of their newer cards is a continuous trap that says, activate this card by tributing either a Hecahands monster or a monster owned by your opponent. So, like, yes, they have a form of interplay with cards that your opponent owns. So we've seen Hand Rip Boy and Deck Rip. And then we're going to look at Godos. Literally Goddess, but they remove the double D. Just make him Godos.
Got him.
I also like, by the way, these guys are... I didn't think about it before because I wasn't looking at these guys up close, but I do like that each of them has a subtle color palette difference. Breus is green. Gygas is blue.
It makes it feel like these aren't necessarily all similar beings, but just like beings that have been corrupted by whatever the Hecahand thing is.
Whatever the heck of those hands are.
Yeah.
So
why does this look like Lord Genome's mech?
I mean, kinda, yeah. I mean, this He's got a face in his chest, kind of, so I could see
Rasengan.
this being a little Gurren-Lagann-y. But no, this guy is absolutely a fucked up RPG boss. Like, you could tell me this guy is Diabolos from some obscure Final Fantasy, and I'd be like, yeah, that scans.
Yeah, probably.
I forgot
Like-
what Rasengan looked like. It's not as cool as I thought it was.
He's got like big bony plates and joints, but is less gooey. But I think it works for him because he's got kind of the red, but got multiple arms. Definitely, all those extra Konami orbs looks like they're gonna fire like a bajillion lasers.
Wait a second, where is it?
It like this feels more like somebody like because like the first two are kind of like raging with it. This guy's just sort of like reveling in it. I don't know how it's like a good way to phrase
Yeah, it's just kind of like part of his body.
Yeah.
Omega, I forgot the obvious distinction. This guy's a fucking Digimon.
I will say,
Also true.
this entire archetype is very, like, I'm not a Marvel guy, but it's very symbiote coded.
The black goop on the dark monsters is definitely that way. The light guys are a little different, but we'll see them in a second, I think. But we gotta run through
No,
light
even
in the future.
like, oh, wow, do I even want to get into this? I'm more talking about the newer stuff with like Null and the whatever the fuck it is.
Dallas says he's not a Marvel guy, and then tells me about some Marvel character I've never heard.
No,
of.
this is like the most popular new things. It's the edgiest bullshit
I
I've
remember
ever seen.
when Agent Venom was cool.
Agent Venom is cool.
Remember Superior Spider-Man?
Superior Spider-Man was terrible because it was
Try
a
to forget.
22-year-old man hitting on a teenager.
Try to forget. Godos is another Dark 7, so most of these are kind of 7-axis. 2300 attack, 2000 defense. It's card battles, neither can be destroyed, so it has the illusion effect. It has each effect falling once per turn. If a card's added to your opponent's hand, summon this guy. During your opponent's main phase, quick effect, target a monster your opponent's graveyard, special summon it to your field, but banish it when it leaves the field. Godos, I believe, is considered to be one of the better interactions. Obviously, it's a tougher going first card, but if you are going second, this is a great card to summon if your opponent starts searching, and then if they put some shit in their graveyard, you're just like, give me that guy. And they don't even get that guy back. He's banished.
Yeah, that fucker's gone. Get out of here.
So, like, even if we're just doing, like, a silly little, like, just grabbing for the sake of grabbing, like, no, that's really good. That, I will say, you're going to see this with a lot of this card design. The general consensus from a lot of people that I kind of agree with is that Konami's a little too cautious with the Hecahands compared to the kind of teeth they've given Killer Tune and Enneacraft. Enneacraft literally is getting a support next set, which is like, your opponent can't chain to their own card effects. Fuck you. Also, if your opponent activates a card as Chain Link 3, flip this guy face up, negate everything earlier in the chain. So, like, that's crazy for the archetype and also very powerful just in general. The Hecahand support is like, okay, we gave you a guy that you can start on if you don't snatch steal one of your opponent's monsters, I guess. Our bad. So, like, Hecahands is like they're being a little cautious. I think even the Genesis team said that like they were gonna pre-point some Hecahands because they were concerned about like ripping cards out of your opponent's deck type stuff, which is fair. Those traditionally have been very annoying.
Yu-Gi-Oh players are such babies when it comes to discard and mill. I'm sorry, I just can't.
I think some of them are. Like, I mean, hand ripping is very powerful, but I think hand ripping is more powerful when it's either loopable or, like, you get to pick. Like, look and force to discard is very strong, because then you, like, pick your opponent's, like, literally their best card, kind of a thing. Random hand rips is not a problem. Like, genuinely, I think it's the extra deck rip that is the most tough. Like, if you get to look at all 15 cards in your opponent's extra deck and rip one of them, that's, like, that can be really devastating to be if that's just for free? Kind of a thing. Like, that, because the extra deck is super tight, and you don't necessarily have a lot of control about how many extra deck cards your deck makes you play. Like sometimes there are mandatory like combo pieces in there that you only play one of and can only play one of because you need the rest of the space. But yeah, I think Konami's was very cautious in the design of the Hecahands, and that's why I said that these guys have ended up being kind of the worst of them, of the three. Whereas like Eniacraft, they're like, fucking flip monsters? Who cares, man? We can do whatever the fuck we like.
Flip monsters are fake. They're not real.
Vesper, it's funny you say that because that's what everybody playing the TCG thought until Eniacraft came out, and then they started making top cuts. I don't think they've won a YCS yet, but
that
the deck is winning
right
some.
There ain't real.
Oh, it's funny to say about this guy.
It's still so hilarious to me thinking back to like older archetypes. Like man, we really tried so hard to juice some archetypes and just fucking failed. Like with their Arctic, like this card says draw 7 on it.
Oh my god, yes, the Drytron draw 7 field spell.
Like this card says draw 7, and
that's the one that's USA. Yeah, the Earth's Arctic one. That's not. They didn't even do the bridge into Drytron yet. That was part of their even later support to make the Earth's Arctics relevant. That didn't do shit either. Yeah, no. It is crazy what like archetypes can get away with. This is Hecahands Ibtel. Just Iberu.
Well, I get it. I don't like the angelic look, but I also appreciate how fucked up it looks. But compared to the other two, it's a downvote for me.
Well, so this is a light monster. The lights are more in this. The dark monsters look like they've been struck by symbiotes. The light monsters are more in the, be not afraid, mortal type shit. They are more like biblically accurate angels type guy.
Well,
I mean, Ibtel doesn't go all the way, but he's still made of hands. Like, he's got hands for hands.
It's because I've been playing it, but this gives me fucking Fear and Hunger vibes.
A little bit.
He's got a belt made of hands. Don't know why he needs that. His mask is made of hands. His hands are made of hands. He's got a hand that's nothing but hands.
His back. Yeah, he's
okay. The I'm okay with this design with one glaring exception.
The abs.
No, the abs are fine. It's the fucking the giant hand looks very goofy to me.
I love.
Looks like he just has a master hand strapped to his back.
He's just a hand made of hands.
If it was just more smaller hands, yeah. The fact that that's just one large.
Oh yeah, before I saw the big hand, I liked it. When I thought it was just a wing, I'm like, no,
it could be more like a wing. I'm not sure, but yeah, that's his hands are made of hands. Though it's not blue, so maybe that's a wing.
No. You can see like on the left-hand side there is like what looks like an arm going down, so it is like a wing.
Actually, yeah, no, you can see it is coming out of his. It is coming out of his back because you can see the curvature of his green robe is down on that side.
This is my least favorite of the light monsters. I will say that.
I fucking love this guy's look.
We're doing cool stuff. I don't mind.
Handle.
This is very OC looking character.
Ibtel is a light level 6 illusion. He also has the illusion effect. If this card battles, neither can be destroyed, and you can only use each of the effects following per turn. 1. Reveal this card in your hand. Shuffle it back into your deck. Special summon a Hecahands from your deck in defense position, except Ibtel. Just... Oh, what's this? A brick? No, he's not. And then, if this card's sent to the graveyard, target a Hecahands in your graveyard except Ibtel. Special summon it. So, the Darks obviously kind of feel like they are turn 0 players, right? They're there if your opponent starts adding cards to their hand. Though keep in mind, they do say outside of draw phase, so that does mean that if they activate, like a Mulcharmy or something, you can also be like, did you Mulcharmy draw? Die.
Explode now.
But,
by the way,
also
I got someone who draw himself out with Maxi yesterday. I'm so proud of myself.
Oh, you won the Maxi challenge. That's great. I always love when you get to do that.
DDD can do it.
DDD would be able to do it. That sounds like a deck where you could just summon
of all
forever.
the decks. Yeah, no, of all the decks to be able to do it, yeah, that's
Especially with new DDD, yeah, they just keep going.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was literally just like, well, I have no answers to this, so I'm just going to keep going even further beyond.
So our next card is actually, we're going a little out of the chronological, but this is their legacy support. There's just not enough Hecahands to make a fuss about doing it, so we're just going to show MICHEAL.
Also, this is the best looking one, so I would hope we talked about it.
So, yeah, this is Hecahands MICHEAL.
Okay.
Coming from the word for shoulder, so again, related to Beetlejuice. And no, this one does look pretty sick. You can see the hands of hands extra extended. And also, its wings are kind of the same color as its hands, so you can see them spreading out as freakish hand wings.
Is its tentacles basically just like elongated fingers?
Oh, probably.
Well, I think it's showing. Honestly, I think it's showing that these are kind of the same species, even though like they look differently because they're light and dark. These are the same creatures, just
like.
So we haven't talked about their spell traps yet. One of their spell traps, which is a quick play, not a field spell, despite being called Hecahands Tartarus, but it basically shows that there's a giant spooky tower rising into heaven, and then the symbiote goose at the bottom. So I think it is just a case of like, no. The dark guys are in prison, and these guys are the prison wardens. They're still called Hecahands, so they're probably all still the same guys. It's just, some of them are fallen, some of them aren't.
Weirdly enough, the fact that this guy is symmetrical makes him look kind of creepier, which is a plus in my opinion.
Yes.
Also, I love the fucking dark hole sun / glaring eyeball behind him, just like, looking into the eye of the heavens type shit.
This is the definition of a be not afraid artwork.
Oh yeah, no. This card is saying be not afraid.
Also, if you look carefully at like what looks like part of the cloak or wings at the back there, it looks like it turns off into the tendrils, so it's like his outfit is made of tiny tentacles.
Yeah, the dress looks like it doesn't even have legs, they're just tentacles all the way down. It's hard to tell whether or not they have white hair or if that's just part of their cloak. Also, pinchable waist, chat.
I was gonna mention it.
The waistline's right here.
Oh, hey, So, something interesting. Did we go over? We haven't gone over Yadel yet?
No, Yada will be next, because we're doing alphabetically. But
well,
yeah,
Ibtel
is... Ib was armpit? Yeah, Ib is like the armpit, MICHEAL is the shoulder, Yadel is the actual hand, I think.
Well, I glanced at the trivia just to get something, is that, MICHEAL is the combination of Ibtel and Yadel. Which I kind of see looking at them now.
Yeah, I don't know if that's, like, that may just be, again, because they are the, MICHEAL's name comes from the Arabic for shoulder, and the others come from parts. That may just be kind of, like, referring to their positions visually, because it's not a fusion monster, and this is a fusion archetype, so I don't know if they're literally combined, but we are combining visual aspects for sure.
What I mean is that they're like looking at their designs, they're like they feel like two halves of a whole. Like they're like inverse designs of each other.
Yeah. So that one of them's got the handling on one side, one's got the handling on the other side.
The symmetrical design.
Yeah. And who knows what they mean by that? Maybe we'll find out when they do a story.
Yeah.
So MICHEAL is a light illusion 6, 1850. Do note, by the way, the lights I think are all 6s and have lower stats, and then the darks are 7s with higher stats. It's funny. If this card battles Knight is destroyed, you can only use the effects following once per turn. Reveal this card in your hand. Fusion summon Hecahands from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field, including this card in the hand. So this is like Phimena, but better. You don't have to discard this guy. It's just like fusion summon. If an illusion fusion monster is sent to your graveyard while this card's in your graveyard, add it back to your hand.
So I know Dallas will get this. I can't remember if a spare will get this, but the way this guy is posed, the fact he brings out a fusion summon monster, I'm just thinking of fucking Was from Kamen Rider ZO.
Yeah.
UI!
UI.
I also put my arms out for that one when I said it.
But yeah, no. Machabell is their like designated, next core set legacy support. It's pretty good to have effectively a monster that is a poly like right away. It's good to give them another form of starter because some of their other fusion tricks require you to go fishing for your opponent's monsters, kind of a thing. So like it's good. It's just not, again, reminder, Eniacraft's version of that is while this flipped summoned card is face up on your field, your opponent can't chain card effects to their card effects. Like your opponent is banned from chain blocking. And it's like, that's crazy talk.
Do not chain.
In-hand fusion is cool, I guess. I mean, it's very important for Eniacraft because that is one of the primary ways to play around them is if your opponent gets to chain block, they can fuck up your activations of your face-down guys. But yeah, no. Also, talking about pinchable waste, moving on to Yadel, I feel confident in saying that Yadel is a lady.
I'm not, Omega.
What makes you say that?
I'm not confident in that. I'm like 80% confident.
I'm drawing my cursor's attention to the region.
What are you talking about, Omega? Those are just hands in there.
Yeah, those could literally be more hands.
I mean, who am I to stop Yadel from self-identifying? If they want to present femme, that's okay. I support.
Do you see what I mean, though, Omega?
Yes, no, you're right. That like, because Machabell is also blue and red, and I didn't think about that before.
Yeah.
Whereas Yadel is red, Ibtel is blue.
Ibtel is blue with a wing on the right, and Yadel is red with a wing on their left.
Just got
and
the one giant hand.
I guess the idea is like they combine into the red and blue Machabell,
which I guess makes sense that Machabell is the fusion spell monster. I will also want to say a very interesting detail about this. It's probably hard to see on stream, but there's actually a face in there. You can see that she has kind of like a dark face with like a line for lips. Like, you can something under the mask.
Yeah, like you can see a very subtle like smile line there.
Yeah. So Yadel's, our other level 6 light, 2100 attack, 1600 defense. This card battles knight is destroyed. You can use your following effects once per turn. Reveal in your hand, shuffle it back. Add a spell trap from your deck to your hand. If this card's sent to the graveyard, target a Hecahands spell trap in your graveyard. Set it. So you kind of see, these are all the main deck monsters. So you kind of see the pattern here. You have the lights reveal themselves in hand to do something, namely to shuffle themselves back to either summon a guy or get a spell trap. And the darks summon themselves from your hand to hit your opponent with something. So obviously this is why there is concerns about this deck having a starter, because basically, if Gygus doesn't hit, you're fucked. Like, Breus, that can be risky depending on whether or not your opponent has a full hand. You might go for that summon, obviously. Gygus is the Excavate 3 summon 1. If you do not get a rip off that, because that's probably what you're summoning off Ibtel, unless you're going second, in which case you could go for Godus. Oops. Whiff. And that's like, I think the deck's primary problem is just you can whiff City. And it's like, that's... Machabell helps with that by giving you an in-hand guy to fusion summon, so you can just go to the races.
It is unfortunately just kind of like I mean, it's the same problem as well, I say problem in air quotes, but like the problem with tier is, well, you just whiff. Like, yeah, it's arguably like a really incredibly powerful and consistent deck, but there will just be games where you whiffed. I guess you'll lose. Yeah, and I mean that's why certain. That's why you add like the shufflers, or not the shufflers, but the millers, right? That's why you played the Ishizu cards to go that extra mile, and get them. Okay, all right. Well, speaking of future support, let's talk about the other fusion monster they showed, because this kind of shows the strengths and weaknesses. So,
The new fusion they revealed as well, because they added Machabel and a fusion monster, is Hecahands Dandalos.
Look at this weirdo.
So Dandalos is looks like Godos, and then is probably what's his face? Gygas over him because he's got some blue in there.
Godos and Gygas kind of like melded together. It's the blue and red.
And the name is not completely related because it's got a D, but it's close to Tantalus. Dandalus.
Yeah, that's close. That's close enough to Tantalus.
Yeah. So, Dandalos is a Dark Illusion 7 fusion with 2900 attack and 3k defense. Just 2 Hecahands monsters. So this is the card you make with Machabel, usually. You can't target a monster your opponent controls, take control of it. You can use this effect once per turn. Your Hecahands fusion monsters and your monsters that are owned by your opponent can attack directly. If this card battles, neither can be destroyed. So, Dandalos is kind of like the card that's supposed to kickstart this deck a little. It has the ability to snatch an opponent's monster, which can help you out and can get some of your combos started. But also, it gives you a win con going second because it means that you can actually attack over your opponent's board.
Yeah, that's
pretty spicy.
That's really spicy.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, is it weird that I can totally picture the fucking Master Duel, like, summon animation for this guy? Just all the fucking bits and bobs just flinging wildly as he rolls.
It's wiggling and wobbling all over.
Yeah. I like it. This guy's a fucking weirdo, and that's a plus, in my opinion, for this archetype. The waifu tax is over, except for that one monster in this archetype.
Yeah, you don't got to worry about that. But here's Big Eyeball themselves. Should they be framed up okay?
What, Jowza?
Yes.
Oh,
Jowza.
look at this fucker.
So yeah, this is like the even more embiggened version. Like, this is the guy that's behind Machabel. Blue, red, multiple wings.
The trivia Machabel implies, like the eye you saw in the back of Machabel's art is this guy.
This guy is named
creepy.
after the Arabic name for the constellation Orion, which means the central
creepy,
one.
But
So he
I
is
love
the,
the
he
way
is
that
the
the vestment or like thing hung over the shoulder ends in the hand. That's fucking creepy and cool.
Oh yeah, no. Also, like, you can see that the body is tentacles all the way down, which becomes its like shadow is more hands.
Also, I lied. This is the most be not afraid. Well, actually, no. This is less be not afraid because this is be afraid.
Yeah, this is I'm gonna get you.
Be very, very afraid.
This guy says, "All right, we're done with telling you to not be afraid. We've got you. Be fucking afraid now, dude."
Yeah, no. This guy and Machabel are like good cop, bad cop. Machabel is like, "Be not afraid," and then this guy like, "Fuck you, what?"
This guy feels like
shit
he'd
your
show up
pants
after
right
you break
now.
all the seals, and it's like, okay, and time to go. You guys are fucked.
Machabel says, "Be not afraid of me. If we go past me to my boss, you're fucked."
You want to speak to my manager?
Oh, you speak to the manager? Oh, dude, I don't. Good luck with that.
So
Cracks
Jowza.
multiple knuckles.
Oh god, so many knuckles you could crack. So Jowza is a level 8 light illusion fusion, only 2400 attack and 2500 defense.
I
Materials.
crack with 1 billion knuckles.
So this is another thing you can summon with Machabel because the materials are 1 Hecahands plus 1 illusion, so you can generically fusion this out. Jowza also must either first be fusion summoned or special summon from your extra deck by tributing 2 monsters you control, 1 face-up monster owned by your opponent and an illusion monster. So this is the card you go into after you get a rip with one of your stolen monsters.
Yeah,
that means that
neat.
you can just, contact fuse Jowza instead of having to go the other way around.
It's not quite contact you because it has special summon, not fusion summon. So it wouldn't be legally summoned.
It's not
by
properly.
That. Did you say
Yeah.
that this deck is considered the weakest out of the 3 in the release?
Yes.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Okay. After looking at this, I want to try to play this because this looks dumb.
Oh
and
no,
fun.
this deck is really cool. Like I've
deck
always
is
thought
this
this
deck
deck
is
was really
raw.
neat.
Rat.
The problem is that, just like I said, like Konami was very conservative with giving them the right tools they need because they are a deck that steals from your opponent, which is, I understand you have to be cautious about, but yeah.
That's why Snatch Steal is coming back, clearly.
Probably. It has the illusion effect. Neither can be destroyed by that battle. During your main phase, you can add a Hecahands card from your deck or graveyard to your hand. You can use this effect once per turn. So,
I won't lie.
MICHEAL...
Before we started this...
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
No, finish.
When we started this, when I heard that this was the Hecahands archetype, I thought it was going to be like the fucking Magic Hands. And I am pleasantly surprised that that was not the case.
No, I'm a big... I've since they revealed this was the archetype that when they you know, usually with a deck build pack, they show, like, the main monsters. They showed Jaza, and I'm like, oh, this is an illusion archetype? This is for me. I'm there. When these guys come out, I'm for them. The you know, Enneacrafts are cool, and, you know, Killer Tune was a thing of all tuners. Whatever. More cute anime women. Anyway, this fucking guy.
Yeah.
Oops, all hands. Love that guy.
Hey, look. Sometimes the cute anime women are spitting. What can I say?
I mean, they are Hatsune Miku, but that's okay. We'll be fine. I
like
would play this in Fortnite.
Here's the thing. I am a Digimon fan. I love my big dumb monsters. This is a big dumb monster.
Yes.
I like this.
Oh yeah, he's a big weird guy.
And I like my monsters non-Euclidean.
So what I was going to say though is MICHEAL is very important for the deck because obviously that means that you can make Dandalos going second and have a win con. Always very important. Also means you can make Jaza without having to steal from your opponent. If you're going first and you don't trust the rip, you can just make any one Hecahands, which MICHEAL is, and then any illusion, so you can play all your generic illusion supports, and make Jaza right away as your starter, because remember, during your main phase, add any Hecahands. So it can get you the pieces you need to keep going. But is still, like, really, really cool. And obviously is the, like I said, the major starter.
Yeah.
Remind me, the canopy destroyed is just a blanket illusion effect most of the time, right?
Yes, that was the effect the original run of illusions do. Some of them don't have that effect, but many of them do. And I think I said before that I wasn't sure if all Hecahands do. I believe. Let me read the last one here. Yes, no, they all say that. So they are a true blue illusion archetype that they cannot be destroyed. Neither can be destroyed by that battle, I should say.
Honestly, I kind of dig that for this archetype because them not destroying your opponent's monsters just means that, like, it kind of brings to mind the idea like they're not killing the monsters, they're infecting them and then stealing them.
Well, and also, like, I understand them not being destroyed by battle in response because look at these guys. Do these guys look like they're destroyed? No, this is that fucking enemy type that always regenerates.
Yeah, you're gonna slice it in half and then it's just gonna stick back together.
So, funnily enough, even though Jaza is the boss, this is Hecahands Zeno, Big Great King Zeno. This is their real biggest boss monster. A Dark Illusion Fusion, level 9, 3,500 attack, 3,400 attack, 3,500 defense. 3 Hecahands monsters. So if you've got 3 Hecahands, you just go here. If this card battles, neither can be destroyed. You can use each of the following effects once per turn. During the main phase, quick effect, look at 2 random face-down cards in your opponent's extra deck. You can special summon one of them to your field. If this fusion summon card you own and control is destroyed by your opponent's card effect, take control of any number of monsters your opponent controls. So, like, this guy can't be destroyed by battle, and it's just like, you know, once per turn during the main phase, you're just like, hey, let me look at that extra. Ooh, nice. I'll take that. And then, like, if your opponent gets rid of them, you're like, oh, you got rid of my guy? Mine. Give me your board.
Is that fucking meme? This is your card. This is my card.
Yeah, no, like just like windmill slam this guy down and force your opponent to have like any out, like it's
and like no matter what, it's a quick effect to do the extra deck rip. So like no matter what, even if they like chain imperm or something, like I mean they can do it in an earlier phase, but if you get to main phase, you're just like your opponent's like, okay, time to remove this guy. You're like, cool, but first your extra deck.
And even then, I'm looking. If it's like as long as it's not non-destruction removal, it's just oh well, I just get to like I'm taking your shit still as well.
Yeah. And you know, like obviously this one is the most you have to invest in because it is straight up 3 Hecahands. It doesn't even have the you know using monsters your opponent controls type effect. I do believe one of their spell traps says that you can treat monsters. Yes, that's Tartarus. The next card we're going to look at says you can fusion summon a Hecahands. If you use a face-up monster your opponent controls as material, it counts as a Hecahands. So they are literally, like, infecting your opponent's monsters also. But which it is tougher to set up. But still, he's
You said this isn't a Master Duel yet?
No, not yet. Like I said, they haven't even gotten to K9. I'll let you know, Loth. I will be playing this deck when it hits to Master Duel. I would expect, obviously, with the way selection packs work, there will still be some number of URs. But knowing the way Master Duel is, because Hecahands is not a exceptionally meta archetype, they will probably be cheaper. We can hope. But let's look at their spell. Because, yeah, like I said, I think the main problem is just that this deck, until Dandalos, kind of lacked a win con because they can't destroy by battle. So, like, if your opponent just puts a bunch of guys in defense mode, you're just like, well, I guess eventually I will Jaws a Snatch Steal them all.
Yeah, it's just kind of like sure it has a lot of options going on with what it's doing, but a lot of it doesn't really go anywhere.
Yeah. It's a very weird control deck, but I like its basis, and obviously being so illusion focused, that does mean you can tech in other decks that do more. Like you can play Chimera support and other generic illusion supporters that work out. I've heard a lot of people repping Nightmare Magician, for instance, because he's a level 7 illusion that his effect is when an attack is declared, you get to steal an opponent's monster.
Ooh,
so like, just you know, run out any kind of like generous support. Yeah, this is well, it's funny you say dungeon. This is Hecahands Tartarus. Tartarus.
Yep. Okay, guys, it's the midnight hour. I'm gonna need I guess Yukari and Mitsuru.
Shit, I should have put P3 music in the
Every time I feel like I escape you.
I should have put P3 music in the back of this stream.
That's my bad.
I was rushed for time. I forgot to do it. Oh my god, no, another Relic of Chains. No. Mass destruction.
The greatest boss of Persona 3, Lewis.
Good heavens, look at the time.
Best Persona soundtrack, Don't Fight Me.
I mean, I really like 5, but 3 is really iconic.
5 has more memorable songs to me, but 3 is definitely up there in vibe.
I don't know. 3 has... I will agree 5 has more memorable songs, but 3 has the most memorable songs to me.
That's fair.
Oh my god, sorry, I just typed...
I mean, I admittedly, it's because I played it as a formative time, but there are the background tracks in P3 are, like, burned into my head. I can, you know, I can just start humming To Be Close.
Oh, man. So, sorry for the side tangent of bringing up Persona 3. The music that plays in the dorm in December. Oh, so good.
Ooh, yeah. But, like, I think Atlas's sound team got, like, obviously because they got access to more powerful hardware, like, they got a little more in-depth. Like, there is something to be said for P5's just, like, fucking jazzy-ass jazz soundtrack, you know?
Yeah.
Like, they have some really good beats, and obviously, you know, the singers...
Battle Hymn of the Soul is, like...
Yeah, Battle for Everyone's Soul is so...
Maybe one of my favorite pieces of music of all time.
I had a
It's like up there with
I will
boss
say that
phase,
I think the
phase.
integration of some of the music tracks into the plot in P5 is a little better, just
Oh,
because
100%.
there's nothing quite like when you're like, all right, this is it, the final day, we've sent the notice, and then, the jazz, the bass line kicks in, and you're just like, hell yeah. Like, that's good, but
Yeah.
there's different stuff going on. Also, Awakening's just really killer, but that's because, like, they made the Persona Awakening a whole thing. Anyway, Tartarus is a quick play spell. This is not a field spell. If you thought it was a field spell, haha.
You're wrong.
You're owned, you buffoon.
So
That's the illusion. This isn't a field spell.
This quick play spell says activate one of these two effects. You can use each effect once per turn. Thank God. If you control a Hecahands, target a spell trap your opponent controls returns to the hand. Just bounce a spell trap. Stop that. Or, if you should summon a Hecahands fusion monster from your extra deck by banishing its materials from your field and or graveyard. If you use a face-up monster your opponent controls, you can treat it as a Hecahands. Which does, by the way, while yes, this is a Miracle Fusion type effect that you got to worry about getting your guys back from banish, that does mean that if you have an opponent's monster, you're banishing it, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could treat it as, like, I can see why it is the tower and it's quick play, because it's like, oh, what's the fusion? You're banishing these guys. Here's a new asshole. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Those other guys, locked away.
1,000 Years Dungeon.
Yeah, being able to
1,000 years hand.
more opportunities just to be able to just chuck your opponent's monsters in the banish pile is very good.
Especially if you're not fighting a deck that loves to use the banish for anything.
Yeah, which is like pretty
Well, guess what?
consistent.
They killed
like,
Malice, so.
Yeah.
Like,
But
that...
GGG survives.
True.
Yeah, I've played against.
But like I said, that is actually a case of like, Hecahands is a deck that would be hurt by Malice existing because the like summon from grave, and not only does all your opponent's monsters go to banish any, but the fact that you then banish them afterward is like, oh, your opponent just plussed, like off you using their monsters, which is wacky. Let's see. Yeah, this is the card I used for the thumbnail, so it's like giga huge. Let me shrink it back down.
I've got the B3 soundtrack in my head.
It's kind of a constant problem with decks that are built around interacting with the opponent's stuff, is where if the exact specific way this deck interacts with your opponent is actually a giant plus for them, the deck's just dead.
Yeah, no, like, I think they have to try and do some of that banish stuff just because, like, there are so many good decks that would just be, like, so many decks have, if this card is sent as fusion material to the, your opponent would plus. Literally, Draco Tales have that, I think, if they're sent to the graveyard as fusion material. And I don't think they name check Spellcaster or Dragon Fusion specifically. So, like, you have to be careful. But they're trying out here.
Is it weird that out of all the Hecahand stuff, this looks the most menacing?
Well, it should, because this is the hidden Hecahand. Literally its name. Or the hidden Hecahands.
Yeah, because,
this card in the OCG was literally just called Hecatonkir. Though the
unseen hands of the gods.
So yeah, this is the thing that's like looming over that landscape way below. Hidden Hecahands is a crazy card. When you activate this card, you can also send one other card you control to the graveyard. Add a Hecahands monster from your deck to your hand. If you send another card, you can set a Hecahand spell trap, except Hidden Hecahands. So if you have nothing on board, you can just, because you don't have, this deck doesn't have any normal summons. It's all level 6 or plus. But if you have nothing on board, it's just your standard issue search spell. If you have a board presence, for instance, if your opponent added a card to their hand and you summoned some guys, you can send them to also make it a spell trap search.
Oh.
Also, you can banish this card from your graveyard. Your opponent draws a card, then they discard a card. They get Dark World dealings.
Okay.
You can use each effect once per turn. Not only one that turn. So, again, it's very funny that this deck is, like, the worst, because this is a crazy good card. You're telling me your Archetypal Searcher can then be immediately banished to force your opponent to draw one, discard one? Which triggers all your guys in hand? Like, that's a amazing potential. Obviously, you're at risk because they do discard of them plussing. God forbid if you are playing the Dark World matchup. You will be cooked. Luckily, that doesn't exist.
Your bone!
But this is a phenomenal support card for this deck. Like, it's crazy good. Also, it's a sick art.
Yeah. Everything has been front and center and not hidden at all. The fact that this one is, like, shrouded in mist.
Yeah. I will say there is probably another case of why this deck is also a little troublesome is, you're going to see when we talk about their spell traps, but they have 2 counter traps. Why do they have 2 counter traps? Well, you'll see in a second. First, let us take ibuprofen together.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to go ahead and grab both these arts because they are also literally mirrored.
Okay, when it's shown like this, the fucking wing hand looks better because it looks like a...
Oh, that's much bigger.
Like an actual hand instead of like being part of it. Like the other hands are just on top of it kind of situation.
Oh, Chad, let's play a little resizey game. And yes, I'm putting them on mirrored sides deliberately to make some people in the audience mad. Anyway.
I mean, also me in chat.
Yeah, but it here. We're flipseed.
Oh,
but so this is Ib-All Hecahands and Yad-All Hecahands, the 2 archetypal counter traps. They basically have kind of the same effect, but different. Ib-All, which is the one currently on the left, is when your opponent activates a monster effect while you control a Hecahands, negate, destroy, you can special summon that monster to your field.
And isn't it like the name of it or the monster on it is the opposite one as well?
Yes. Ib has Yado on it, and Yad-All has Ib on it. It is designed to make you confused. But yeah, so...
It's like getting ready for the biggest handshake.
Where
was it?
The Romanji of this is Unseen Tempting Hand. Very funny. And then... that's what Ib does.
Hand.
Yeah. And Yad basically does the same other thing. It's your opponent activates a spell trap while you control a Hecahands, negate, destroy. You can set that card.
Oh, no.
That's kind of a situation where
Omega?
Yeah?
I believe you're roboting.
You're roboting for us, which usually means stream is fine for...
The stream actually should be okay.
Stream audio is fine, but yeah, for us, you're roboting.
Let me see.
Okay. Yeah, stream sounds fine for Omega. I guess it's just us.
Yeah,
Usually
I bet.
does.
Discord's grayed out right now, so I don't know if it's going. Average ping 0.
Fun, weird thing I just want to mention. I know it's like gravity lines or like pressure coming from Ib there on the right. Because I've been on a weird Curse the Cowardly Dog binge, I'm just thinking of the Great Fusili with him. Like, it's just strings.
I see that, though.
I could see that.
I could see it.
I mean, it would work with all the hand if there was string imagery. But yeah, basically, you're seeing kind of the problem with this deck. Both of these counter traps are really cool, but we've done that thing where you have the monster negate and then you have the spell trap negate, and they're not in the same negate.
Yeah.
So if you want to have both in your back row, you need to search 2 cards. Now, they're really mean negates because they are negate, destroy, and then either special summon that monster or set that spell trap to your field. So your opponent's not getting that shit back right away.
It's very nasty, and I do like it.
Yeah. I like the concept because that's literally what this deck is like your opponent is going to try and use shit against you, and you're just going to be like, nah, it's mine now. But I mentioned before they're continuous traps, so let's grab it. Oh, it's tiny. Is there a bigger one?
I do want to say too. I can't tell if it's. I think you can see like the same mouth line on Ibtel on his counter trap.
It is
Yeah, a
difficult
little. I
because
think you
they
can kind of
are
see the
further
smile.
away.
It's harder to tell because I compressed his down more because the image was larger for some reason. But yeah, I think you can see it a little bit.
Quite
there.
compressed, but I think it's meant to be like there is the loose semblance of a mouth there.
This is what happens before they form the big bungus to do the fusion.
Yeah.
Well, and our next card is probably the act of them fusing because that is Bayat al Hekatonkir. Unseen guiding hand.
I mentioned not being a fan of the giant hand wings. This looks a lot better now with both of them like side by side like this.
They're intentionally two halves of the same whole. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you can see the red and blue. They're like bridging together under the gaze of the central eye, which is also part of a fucking storm of hands. Like
it's very cyclopean and non-Euclidean, and I really fuck.
I love this shit. This is great.
Yeah, no, it's edgy but funny edgy.
Yeah.
Funny.
I don't think it's edgy because it's not like.
I mean, edgy in the sense that it's meant to try to creep you out, kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
I think you can be creepy core without being.
For me, edgy is. I define edgy as trying to be badass more than trying to be creepy.
My bad.
Or at least when I mock things for being edgy.
Yeah, no, like I mean, I think it is kind of like because edgy is like that used to be a thing we would say. It was to be like, ooh, that guy's got edge, because he's like, cool, sharp, like cutting edge in a way that's like a little, what would you say? Yeah, a little hip, but a little counterculture, like a little against the grain. And then edgy is when it's like, oh, okay, so you have edge, but you have edge in like a forced way. You are trying really hard to kind of be that sort of like badass cutting a little against the grain, almost not that they are synonymous, but being edgy can also be kind of that too cool for school type mentality of like, nah, I'm not a good guy. I kill people because I kill people. I'm John T. Kill People.
Just 90 and early 2000s comics that's what I define as edgy. Just that
I'm
entire
John
movement.
Kilmore.
And I'm actually the good guy.
I am
I'm the
savage
good guy.
oppressed.
The only survivor of Kill Team Kill. We kill people, not for justice, but
I think this is an actual Rob Liefeld comic. This just sounds like an actual Rob Liefeld comic.
Anyway, Vital is super cool, but this is the continuous trap I mentioned before. This says you contribute a monster you control that's a Hecahands or a monster owned by your opponent. Take control of a monster your opponent controls. That's not targeting, by the way. You can eat this effect once per turn. Once per turn during your end phase, send a card you control to the graveyard. So it does have a cost, but it's not necessarily a bad cost.
Yeah.
Worst comes to worst, you just send itself. Yeah. Also, remember, it's a trap, so it's what the wiki calls a quick like effect. So your opponent, is doing something where they would probably like remove one of your monsters, and you go, yes, interesting. Anyway, Byatal Hecahands, tribute that guy, give me your monster. Like, it is itself an interruption, and also a disruption, and is really interesting. And again, the cost could be a cost, or it could not be a cost, because you might not mind sending that opponent's monster you stole to the graveyard. If it's like one of their like big boss monsters, like they're doing some sort of setup where like they've just fusion summoned I don't know, Red Eyes Dark Dragoon or something. You don't care if that guy goes to graveyard. He doesn't do anything in there. Snatch steal your opponent's DPE. They try and pop your monster and you just go no. DPE doesn't do anything if sent to graveyard. He only does stuff if destroyed. So Like, depending on what your opponent has, you might be okay tributing it, or at worst, if it goes to, like, turn 3, you know, you just send Byatal. We've now looked at the entirety of the Hecahands. If I have to say what this deck's major flaw is like I said, there's no clinching win condition. Daedalus is pretty good, but does not necessarily play through disruption. Like, if you're... This is a deck that is counting on the fact that your opponent's back row is not real. Like, you will negate one single spell trap with the spell trap negate. Maybe you'll bounce a back row they have set with Tantalos or Tartarus after you've already fusion summoned, you know? And you're just like, nah, back row's not real. Which is, admittedly, probably a fair bet in today's Yu-Gi-Oh!, but not always.
I love making people have to read the DDD spell traps.
That's fair.
It's so funny. It's like, what the hell does it... Like, you could feel them on Master Duel when the timer is ticking down. You could feel them being like, the hell does this do?
Yeah, no,
that's always a power hitter.
It definitely was something we already covered, but like you said, like, the fact that like there's no direct like win con going on here. Like, it's a lot of cool function, and I do think there's an interesting archetype underneath here.
The primary win strategy before they added Daedalus seems to be make Zeno and then force your opponent to either fold or play into the interaction and hope that by stealing their monsters, you can win the game. Which is not wrong, it's just one of those things that's like people have pointed out this playing this deck in paper. There's a lot where this deck can just whiff. If your opponent just doesn't interact with you, you're kind of stuck holding the bag, and Daedalus helps with that, with its, you know, direct attack condition and shit like that. But it is a real issue of this deck where if your opponent just is playing a deck you can't interact with because either maybe they summon too many monsters and you can't steal them all, or maybe they don't summon any monsters. Like if your opponent was playing straight up Runic Stun, I think this deck would fold because you would do Gygas and just look at 3 quick play spells and go, whoops, guess I'll die.
Yeah, it's an interesting situation where because a deck that I played that's like, it's not quite the exact vibe, but as a similar issue of when I played Psyframes for a while, where there are pretty simple-ish ways to just easily just play around the issues in ways that this deck interacts with your cards. And in doing that, the deck kind of just stalls. Like, where, like... And with Psyframes, it was kind of a case of you could only really stall for so long, because the longer you stall, Psyframes get a varied, like, list of materials.
Yeah, with Psyframes, I think after eventually they got enough where, like, they got right, like, You eventually had a Psyframe gear for everything, like spell trap, monster effect. They summoned a guy, they attack. Like, there was a Psyframe gear for everything. So if you just let them sit back and draw cards, eventually you wouldn't be able to do anything. So you had to like find that inflection point of like, they've only got one monster negate, right? That, or you just like, well, if we just get all 3 driver into the grave, then you know they're turned off, right? They're cooked. Actually, Is there also a driver from Grave? I don't remember. Some of them are, I think.
Driver is from, I believe it's from any place. I'm almost positive.
But yeah, so like
I think it's any place but Banish Zone.
A hand deck or graveyard, yeah, any place but Banish. So it was so them getting banished in Synchro.
Yeah, if you banished all three driver, your opponent would not be able to continue to play. But that's a very specific form of interaction. But you're right in that I think Hecahands feels like a similar design, because it's like your options are look at a random card in your opponent's hand, see if it's a monster. Now, this is a pretty safe bet, but it's not a guarantee. You know, especially depending on how many cards they have. Like, honestly, like Breus is probably better going second after your opponent has used a lot of their hand, and you know what's left in their hand, right? Like, you know that they've got, like, one extra guy they searched. You can just be like, hey, that guy, he's mine now. Probably the same, like, and Goddess obviously only works if your opponent puts cards in grave. Now, that's still usable because, like, hand traps exist, right? So, you know, you can just be like, oh, they Ash Blossomed my like, Shuffleback guy. Well, guess what? I summon a different guy. But it's definitely, like, I think they're missing some I don't even want to say extenders. I feel like they're missing more varied starters because, like, there's still always the chance that the starters you do have whiff.
Yeah, they're missing varied points of interaction. And, like it's interesting. It's weird to say that because, like, they do have a lot of different ways of pulling cards, but they're all... Well, they are at the same time varied, but still very one note. If that makes sense?
Yeah, it's a deck that fundamentally has an issue of this is a problem Konami has with deck design sometimes, where the deck can't decide if it's better to go first or go second. Because on the one hand, I think this deck benefits from your opponent going first because it means they're going to have more monsters in their graveyard. They're going to have more monsters on their board. But on the other hand, it means that they may have already gone through important guys in their extra deck for you to snatch off Zeno. They may have interaction that you can't stop because, like, this deck doesn't really have, like, a lot of board-breaking potential. You're very limited to Jawza steals one guy once a turn, and if they destroy Zeno, he steals their whole board. You know, if they, you know, non-destruction banish or spin back or negate Zeno and then just, you know, go over him, you know, you don't got to worry about it. Admittedly, because they have the battle protection clause, you might be able to just put a bunch of illusion monsters on your board and tell your opponent, you won't kill me. You can't kill me going second. Fuck you. You know?
Honestly,
you won't make it through this
could.
board. And I think that may be why people were less keen on this deck, because that is a style of play that's not very popular, of just go first, wall up, bet your opponent they can't kill you. But honestly, that's probably how I would play the deck going first, is I would just try and summon out a bunch of guys in defense and be like, nah, you won't get me. I've got an emissary from the House of Wax in my hand. You're fucked, kind of a thing.
Yeah, it does kind of feel like the only real way to handle like Hecahands going first, like without any way to like force your opponent to interact and play a card on your first turn somehow. Like, yeah. that I feel like is could be an interesting way to
like the hidden Hecahands is a great card because its graveyard effect is force your opponent to draw and discard. So you're like, they might put a monster in their grave, you know, for me to interact with, and that will also trigger my guys.
I think it could be even so far as to like a shallow grave like effect, to where it's like, but both players put a monster onto the board or something.
Yeah, that I think would be a good new spell trap to like.
That's letting your opponent get
let your
advantage.
Opponent summon. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then like, if you have the right hand, you can play with that advantage.
Off of a summon, but also like your deck does need your opponent to have cards on the board to interact with. So I think it'd be an interesting concept. I don't like. They may not even go anywhere near that, but I don't know.
We'll see what they do. Like I said. But yeah, that's Hecahands. I mean, honestly, maybe a little annoying, but I could see them being a great high-powered cube archetype for like some weird illusion stuff.
I'd be down.
Well, I'll see. I love illusion, so I could do. We could do like a tri-type, like illusions, spellcasters, fiends. There's a lot of funny fiend decks out there. We could think of something.
I feel like the main problem with illusions in a cube is you'd have to balance a lot of like.
I would have to include a lot of like we'd have to include some like lightning storms and Roigekis and shit, or maybe some dark holes, because that's like multi-sided, you know. So because otherwise, you know, it's just Moko stun. But yeah, next time let's say we'll do Killer Tune, because actually maybe I don't know who's actually better, because like neither of them have big tops, but Enneacraft could also be interesting next. We'll figure it out, I guess. But that was Hecahands. We'll play it by ear, sure. We'll see.
Which
We'll see
was
what's up.
Hecahands.
But that was Hecahands, and so thanks everybody for tuning in. Slightly shorter, but we got to talk about the banlist. We got to talk about Hecahands. We'll see you tomorrow for more Final Fantasy XIV new patch. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Actually, next Tuesday be in February? It will. So we'll see who won the poll next week for sure. Then we'll get back to
Yeah,
Final Fantasy
next week's the
I
third.
will probably not be able to do next week.
Well, I hope then that
So
whatever you
if
picked didn't win the poll, but I
Ancient
don't think it did.
Warrior or
Predaplants was you.
What did
We'll
I-
see. I might, if
Oh,
Dallas is not
Predaplants.
here and it's his pick, I haven't checked. I'll delay it, chat, just so you know. But thanks everybody for tuning in. I'm gonna end the stream.